Can you hear the music? Oh, you can hear
I
it.
definitely can.
I see you. Oh, this would be like right now. I know you're a metalhead. I've gone down enough for the last.
I teach the meddlings. Yes.
Yes. The meddling.
Very
I saw
much
that. I saw that. Doesn't this just get you like amped?
You know what? That's good music. Shout out to your man for making some solid ass fucking intro music for your podcast. Because that's a good riff.
He has his own band.
And it's a great riff.
Hell yeah.
Solid.
Right, I think it's right here. It's coming. Oh. Right there. Oh, you feel that? Oh.
Love it.
All right, welcome back to another episode of On the Throne with Dick. Shout out to that sounded weird. Shout out to Steel Extension Boychuk for that incredible intro music there. You know, he's a badass motherfucker, that guy. I love that guy. You know, you can find him everywhere you can on the socials. You know, he's everywhere doing his thing, putting out the content. Not a bigger creator, but like, man, everyone needs to go find this guy. Extension Boychuk, literally everywhere. He was on like episode 12 or 14 or some shit like that, way back in the beginning anyway. And on today's episode, continuing along, I guess, with our badass blue-collar moms for the month of May, you know, shout out to Mother's Day, we got Leanna, Jill, or Leanna of all trades. We have Leanna of all trades in the house. What's up?
Yeah, what's up, man? Let's kick this pig, honestly.
Oh, I like kicking pigs. Fuck yeah, you can actually get paid to hurt and harm pigs in some parts.
Squealing from the feeling. Yeah, you know, it's about to go down.
All the euphemisms that I like.
Don't hate. So I also understand that you're from Ontario.
I am. I'm from Hamilton. I'm from the Hammer.
You're from Hamilton. I am from Peterborough.
Oh, dirty. Nice.
At least we're not from the schwa.
The schwa, the dirty schwa. Yeah, of course. Hey, you know what? Like, I'm from Hamilton. You know, my wife told me to kiss her where it stinks, so I took her to Hamilton. But at least I'm from the schwa, all right? Hey,
it's true.
You could be from anywhere. You could be from like downtown Toronto. At least you're not from the schwa.
At least you're not from Oshawa. That's right. Or you know, Kinmount, where they couldn't put effing cousins on the sign.
I mean, like. Yeah. Hey, Hamilton does that shit too. I used to live up north. You want to talk about fucking cousins? You know, like,
Where north?
Well, it's not really north. I used to live in the Sioux.
Oh, okay. Well, the Sioux is the dirty slough. I mean, that's worse than Oshawa. We all know that.
I lived there from the time I was 6 till about 9 or 10. And then I moved back to Hamilton. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's really nice to talk to another Ontarian who came out to Alberta to work in the oil field.
Hell yeah,
which is a beautiful thing. I say Peterborough, but I'm actually from Bridge North. You know, Buckhorn, Bob Cajun, the Tragically Hip wrote a song about us. So
I wrote a movie once in my hometown.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like Ontarians come out here too. How long have you been in the oil field for?
Oh shit! I've been in the oil patch for 12 years, but I've been in the West a lot longer than that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I came out. I'm now in the oil field for 11 years myself as well. Because, like, what do you do?
So originally I moved out to Vancouver, right? I lived just outside of Vancouver for a few
Bad
months.
choice. Bad choice.
It was just before the Vancouver Olympics. They were building for the Olympics, right? So I got a job doing that. I hated it. Moved in with the wife's family for a little bit. Absolutely hated it. And it was like lost. I was essentially lost. I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
So we went from Vancouver, Coquitlam.
Coquitlam. Yeah, the ghetto. Coquitlam, the ghetto of Vancouver.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then, so then we did that. No, Richmond's the ghetto. So
Coquitlam is pretty close. I mean, it's not Surrey, but it's close.
Yeah. So then we went to, I believe, Saskatchewan after that, or was it Banff? I think we went to Banff. We went to Banff. We worked at a resort for a few months in Banff, and boy, that was cool. Let me tell you, I was the only dude in the staff house full of women. There was like 20 women, and I'm the only dude. Everything was my fault. Everything. It was wild. I've already told this story. Don't drink the milk when you piss dick off, right? Like trust me, I'll piss in your milk, and I don't even care. Like you piss. So
you did all this shit with your woman, right?
Yeah, we've been together since fucking grade 11, I think.
Oh, good. Congratulations. And same thing. Me and my now husband, we just got married back in December, but we've been together for I know, right? Congratulations to us. But we've been together for 11 years. And same thing, like we moved around all over Alberta, just kind of like chasing work. Just, so we've lived in Lloydminster too many times. One time is too many times, but twice, too many times. Fort Mac, whatever. And we also went down into like the Rocky Mountains, and like we both worked at a casino together, and like you together you figure out your shit, like we were also both combo unit and hydrovac and tank cleaning together. We were a husband and wife team for quite a few years.
How many times did you guys want to bolt each other back in the tanks when you were done?
Actually, honestly, we had a really good system. It's like if we had some bullshit going on at home, as soon as we got in the truck, it wasn't an issue because I understood that I was his swamper, he was my operator, and we left it the fuck alone until we got home. And by the time we got home after working 12 hours in a fucking 50-degree C400 tank baking in the middle of a fucking field all day, I couldn't even remember what we were arguing about. And that's probably why we're married. That's probably why we're married now.
Hell yeah. Like the other day I was in what was I doing? I was cleaning rig tanks all night. I was doing a rig out on a triple. And I'm sitting there, and the Taylor Swift album just came out like a week ago, right? The Tortured Poets Department. And my sister flew 6 hours from Ontario to have a Tortured Poets Department release party with my wife. And I was there too because they fucking bought cake. So of course I'm there. And I'm like dissecting.
Of course I'm there.
Yeah, I dissected the lyrics with these Swifties, right? And I'm like figuring shit out. But the other night I'm in a tank. This is a few days later, like a week later maybe. I'm in a tank cleaning it out. I'm squeegeeing shit to the backhoes, and I'm like, whoa. And I had the fucking Fortnite song stuck in my head. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh, this is what these lyrics mean, Like, whoa, right? And I kept that on my mind all night. I worked a 17-hour shift. I kept that on my mind all night. I called my wife when I got off in the morning. I'm like, hey, so you guys Swifties try to decode everything Taylor Swift does, and her boyfriend with Joe Alwyn and her broke up after 6 years, and they were fucking miserable. And then she got with Matty Healy from the 1975, and then fucking now Travis Kelce, right? And like she was only with Matty Healy for a little bit. The song in Fortnite, it's like I took my move on drug, my temporary. I took my usual move on drug. The effects were temporary. And the song everyone was trying to figure out, is this about Joe Alwyn? Is this about Matty Healy? Or is this about Travis Kelce? And I'm like, bro, this is about all three, yo. She like fucking broke up with this dude. She took the miracle move on drug, which was temporary, Matty Healy, and then she fucking found Travis Kelce. And I was like, holy shit.
Dude, this sounds like some Quentin Tarantino shit, like Tarantino verse. I honestly, I don't know very much about Taylor Swift. Like I know like We Are Never Getting Back Together ever or what that song, but I don't know too much about her, but that's like Taylor Swift is just pulling some literal like Quentin Tarantino universe shit where like everybody is related to each other in like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction and like whatever. But I mean,
yeah, I've been married to a Swiftie and the brother of a Swiftie for fucking ever here, right? I've been at every hello, there we go. Can you hear me? Can you still hear me?
I can definitely still hear you. I had to put both earbuds in, but I got you.
All right, my mic I think is fucking up here.
Well, no, that's some that's some professional ass shit that you got going on right there. I'm impressed.
Oh yeah, no. Shout out to the Mudman for hooking me up with this stuff, right?
He hooked you up.
Yeah, the Mudman is my sponsor actually, and so
shout out to the Mudman.
Shout out to the Mudman. We'll talk about that later on, but the Mudman is a gem. So like I've been married to a Swiftie and the brother of a Swiftie for like over a decade now, right? So like everything is related with Taylor Swift. Nothing is on accident or by accident. Everything's on purpose. And she does this shit to keep your fucking mind. Like by the time she's figured out what she's doing next, you're still trying to figure out like what she's been doing like 10 years ago, right? Like
that sounds like some Illuminati shit right there.
Oh my God. Like, yeah, it's nuts. Yeah.
So what you're saying is I need to start listening to Taylor Swift.
Listen to the lyrics. Don't just listen to the songs. Like, listen to the songs, you know?
You know what's really fucked up, since we're speaking of like influence of musicians and stuff like that? One of my absolute favorite bands of all time is Ween. And not a lot of people know who they are. They think they're like a jam band. They're related to Primus and stuff like that. They came out with an album called The Mollusk. And this one guy listened to The Mollusk, and because he tripped out and listened to The Mollusk, he actually created SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's the guy who created SpongeBob?
So not the band, but he listened to their album and he's like, holy shit, this album is awesome. And I'm picturing all these crazy creatures on the bottom of the sea. And if it wasn't for Ween, we wouldn't have SpongeBob SquarePants. So it's like, what? Oh yeah, exactly. And also the what is it? Wow. The Voice, the Mr. Krabs. You ever watch like Shawshank Redemption and stuff like that? Okay, yes. So the hard turn ticket, like the guard who's like, this motherfucker's about to have an accident and he almost throws him over the roof.
Yeah.
That guy is the voice of Mr. Krabs.
Like Shawshank, when they're like, you know, getting the beers and stuff like that. He's making a deal with the guy. Hey, we need to get the beers, you know, we need to get this guy's beers.
The blonde guard, that is the voice of Mr. Krabs.
I had
not a lot. I know, it blows your mind. Absolutely blows your mind when you figure that shit out.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's a trip.
So we have a connection. I don't know if you know this or not. I noticed on your Instagram you went to the First Responders Gala there last week.
I did, yeah. It was a wonderful time.
You got someone I know out of a pickle. I don't know what kind of pickle. She wouldn't elaborate. But
I know exactly who you're talking about. She's a firefighter. She's a firefighter, and the next and the next day she had to like dig a trench and shit. And I hope she did okay but yes, I did get her out of a pickle.
She wouldn't elaborate. I asked her. She didn't read it yet. I sent it to her and I was like, yo, is this the same gal that you went to? And she's like, oh my God, I know her. I'm like,
Which was also a trip because I was out front and we were talking and she's like, well, this sounds like something so-and-so would do. And I'm like, do you mean so-and-so with this last name? And he's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I know that guy. And I'm like, yeah, I was on top of a tank at Enbridge for the last 3 weeks with this individual. And she's like, oh my God, I know him too. And that's a really interesting thing with first responders or firefighters, paramedics, whatever. I don't want to use the word, but it's a very incestuous situation where it's like everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody. Yeah, like word travels fast, and it's like if you suck, everybody knows that you suck. But if you're awesome, also very true. Very, very true. Everybody knows that. Yeah, but so that trips me up. That's hilarious. Well, I'm very.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm very, very happy to have helped her out of her bind, and that's excellent. And it's. Yeah, we're not going to elaborate, obviously, but
I say it all the time. You know, the oil field is, and blue collar in general. You know, like you just said, you suck, and world travels. Big industry, small community, right? Like, you know, you can't really go anywhere, and that's so surreal about this whole social media journey that I'm on, right? It's like I knew it was a big industry, small community. I didn't know just how small of a community it was until I jumped into the social media side of it. And like I'm mingling with people in Australia and the Middle East and in Malaysia and in the States and all over Canada. And oh my God, it's insane.
Oh,
it's
insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, I mean, like, because the oil field extends farther than just Canada. Yep. It extends farther than just Alberta. It goes into the States. It goes into the Middle East. Like my father-in-law He was a nurse for the Navy, but he worked on the offshore oil rigs off of Greece and stuff like that. Like we all kind of figure it out together. So it's even my sister. I was just like, hey, yeah, no, I'm supposed to do this podcast for this fucking mustache handled fucking combo unit operator, and she's like, oh, I watch his shit, and I'm like,
hey,
yeah, you know, it's out there for sure. You know, it just kind of is what it is.
I met a lot of cool people off here. You know, a lot of cool people, a lot of interesting folks. Everyone's got a story. You know, everybody, right? And like, fucking, you know, I want to hear it, you know, and then this is crazy because, you know, I'm so used to reaching out to people and like, hey man, you want to come on my podcast? Or hey woman, you want to come on this podcast? And then like, man, like, and then, you know, you actually reached out to me and I was like, fuck, that's awesome. Thanks for listening. And then you got into like what you do and how you want to talk about it. And I'm like, fuck, let's go, you know, like, I'm in. I'm always down to talk, right? You know, and everyone's like, oh, everyone usually, if they reach out to me, they're like, sorry, I don't have a following. And it's like, you don't need a following. I don't give a fuck about the numbers behind you.
Dude,
man.
I will never, actually, honestly, it's really weird because like ever since I agreed to do this podcast with you,
yeah,
I've had people start following me, which like you didn't tag me in anything. I don't think you did, but it's like people are suddenly like trying to fucking follow me, and they're like, "Oh, well, she's a fire eater and she's fucking medic and rescue and can't whistle." And I like suddenly have like, I don't know how to explain it, but
I may have
that's
Dirty Hands Clean Money group chat, right? So now.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Dirty Hands Clean Money.
So that's where it's coming from, because I was just like, this shit's coming out of the ether. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? But no, I digress. I'm here for that.
Fuck yeah.
But ultimately, like, yeah, in my 11 years in the oil field, also, I apologize. Am I talking too low? Like my voice is husky enough to pull a dog sled, so there's not much I can do.
It's hoarse enough to be in a rodeo, you know.
Actually, I have been a rodeo medic as well, which is always great. Yeah, oh yeah, you see some shit.
Creek Rodeo last time. I was also at the Dawson. Well, I was near the Dawson Creek Rodeo last year. I didn't go. My coworkers did. Caused a bunch of shit. I think I recorded the podcast that night, to be honest with you.
Yeah, actually, we did the through my company, which is an oil field company, but we have a lot of like indigenous relations and stuff. So we volunteered our services for the Sucker Creek Rodeo, which is north of Valley View.
Yeah.
And again, like it at least, you know, you see your oil field medics and you're like, okay, yeah, what, they're sitting on their ass and not doing shit. Like
that's how
whatever.
We want them though. That's really how we want them. We don't want them.
Oh yeah.
They gotta move, we're in trouble, right? So.
As long as we're sitting on our ass, it's a good day for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Honestly. But you know what, going to the rodeo, it would, like, by the end of the day, like my ass, my fucking legs hurt just from me like running everywhere because it was nonstop. Absolutely crazy, which is a beautiful thing. But yeah, just doing that is an excellent situation. So.
Okay, you were saying before, I think I rudely cut you off there. You were saying like 11 years in the patch, and like you were going into that. You've done everything. Like you've been on like a tailings pond operator, like one of those fucking boats, like a dredge. You worked on a dredge.
Oh no, I wasn't on a dredge. So when I worked tailings pond. When I first came out to the oil field, I have, coming from the Kawartha Lakes, I grew up on the boats. Yep. So I know how to operate boats. So we would use, so first off, for our outboard motors, like just your little fishing boats or whatever, but because you can't use liquid cooled motors like your usual Enbridge or whatever, we had to use air cooled motors like Mud Buddies. So you had to kind of learn how to use them. But anyway, they brought me into town. And they didn't even tell me. And they're like, you're going for training. And I'm like, training for what? And they're like, training for airboat. And I'm like, you mean like what they got in the fucking Everglades? Like with the fan on the back? And they're like, yeah, that's what you're going for training for. So I became an airboat captain, essentially. And so I would just cruise around. Yeah, but it's got the big fucking fan and fucking... what is it? Cadillac engine, like supercharged engine on the back. So you kick it in and you've got this big fan behind you kicking the other way. And yeah, it's like the Everglades shit. So like you can go on water, you can go on ice, you can go up on the sand, you can go up on the berm, which we shouldn't have done, but we totally did do, just to fuck around. And and the tailings pond that I was on, obviously I can't mention names or whatever, but it was 26 square kilometers of a tailings pond. And shit got a little bit funky because when they made that tailings pond, they didn't dredge out everything. They left the muskeg. So when they flooded the pond, naturally the muskeg floated up, and it created these beautiful situations for all of these birds and stuff to like land on the tailings and try to start creating babies and stuff.
Nice.
And you're just like you got like sandhill cranes, and you've got like 3 different types of gulls, and you got pelicans and all this shit, and you're just like, oh, awesome, now they want to be here. And shit got real quick. But if probably one of the best times of my life was just like fucking streaming across this tailings pond, full tilt. It's fall, so I've got like full face gear on, hitting her hard, and I'm shooting off like flare guns and fucking laser guns and shit, trying to keep like birds from landing, because we had some whooping cranes coming in our direction, and whooping cranes are endangered, species. So
fuck them.
It was what it was.
They'll learn. They want to survive. They'll learn.
Well, this particular installation, they've created a different lake for the birds to land on, but they didn't really help their situation for the tailings. But we're not gonna get into that. But yeah,
they got bird like little bird bomb things now. I can't remember what they call those fucking things. They
so there's 3 different things. So they're called scare wars. One is one of them. So they've got they have your propane cannons, which are the ones that just go, which everybody hears all the time. And then there's scare wars, which are the big speakers, and they're making sounds of like T-Rex and chainsaws and just like stupid ridiculousness. And then we actually had a single unit, which was a what was it? So it was the Merlin. So the Merlin actually had satellite go up into the air, and it could tell you the approximate species, the approximate number, and the approximate level that they were flying at. So that's how we would know. We'd be like, holy shit, we got whooping cranes. They could tell whooping cranes from sandhill cranes, and these are multi-million-dollar units. It's absolutely insane. Yeah.
See, and people say the oil and gas industry ain't doing enough to protect the environment.
Oh no, we're going hard.
Hell yeah.
It's true. But yeah, I left the environmental industry after that, and because it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like, no, that's badass. I actually applied for a job with CETA way back in the day. CETA
was the ones that were helping us get all that muskeg out of there. They were the ones who were using the dredge units out there on the one lake of the 2 lakes of the certain. Maybe you were out there. I don't know. I don't want to say names, but this was back in 2013.
I never left the shop in Edmonton. Probably around that time, actually. I think it was around that time.
But CETA, they were super right alongside of us. They had those cool dredges where they like spread out like spiders, with the floats.
Yep. I was in the shop in Edmonton actually, cleaning the dredges in the spring, getting ready for them to go back out, right? And most of the winter, a lot of the winter anyways, I was there. But I applied because, they were looking for dredge operators, and they were going to train and stuff like that. But they were hiring for like months from now. So I put this in the shop, and I'd clean I'd get right inside the dredge, I'd mask up, put an H2S monitor on, I'd get in there, and I'd clean and scrub and get all the bitumen off the inside and all over the place. Oh, that was a good job, man. And then, it was 8-hour days, and I was home every night, but it wasn't the kind of money I was looking for. But I eventually I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for the contract to actually start. I got wind that they were going to slow down. During that time, they had lost one of the contracts or something, so they weren't going to be as busy. So I'm like, I need to move on with this. I stayed there.
And that is the thing. Again, I'm not going to necessarily downturn the company, but CETA, it is kind of a revolving door.
Yeah.
It's they do so many different things across the complete oil field, and then especially if you get in right before breakup, you're like, oh, I got a job, but then breakup happens and you're like, well, what the fuck just happened? Well, we all know what just happened. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We're doing that right now. It's weird though, because during breakup this year, like it's so dry the last couple of years. Breakup's not even really happening.
Right?
We're doing a dust control out on the roads right now while the road bans are on. It's mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little slower right now, but it's not too bad. You know, we're still in getting hours and shit. But like tomorrow, I gotta leave camp at 5 a.m. to be on site to clean some P tanks at like 6. So it's good.
So you work out of Fox Creek then?
I work
and are you a straight back combo unit, hydrovac? What's your situation?
So I work on mostly combo vac, but
combo is great. I love combo for its own right.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I worked mostly combo when I was up in like House Mountain and Swan Hills and Judy Creek. And it's all sour up there. Man, that shit is sour. It's the top of the hour. We're too sweet to be sour. It's fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. But no, that's excellent. Yeah, I haven't worked combo units or anything like that for shit. I'd say maybe 7 years now. It's been quite a while, but
I work on, mostly combo, but I do a little straight. I've been on the hydrovac a bit for the pipeline and stuff like that, but mostly just combo. I prefer the combo, right?
I like combo. Actually, I preferred hydro just a little bit because it kind of allowed my like OCD to kind of hit the bricks. Like even my husband now, he's on hydrovac. And he taught me everything I knew, but like he showed me pictures the other day, and it was like hydrovac porn. Like if I wasn't on my phone with you right now, I would show you the picture. Like totally, like he like stepped it in, like and it's all sand up in Kitimat, so it is what it is. But
lots of sand there, and so. So where did you move to after the tailing spot? Like you moved. We're all over the place, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. So we're gonna. Okay, this is what we're gonna get into. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So I left Fort Mac for the tailings ponds. Then where the fuck did I move? Then I went to Lloydminster. And that's when I worked for that shitty fucking strip club there for a hot minute because we got some work on the upgrader, and then the upgrader work shut down. But we ended up doing like night shifts at the strip club, and I will let you all know right now, I was not a stripper.
I think that's anyone that's listening is like, oh my god, were you the stripper?
Oh my god, were you the stripper?
If they're not watching right now on YouTube, they're probably going over to YouTube to see like, oh my god, stripper here, like.
To be fair, even though I wasn't a stripper, anybody who was at the cooler at that time, they'll see that and they'll know the situation. But I was also a female bouncer.
Oh shit.
So so because we all know women get fucking crazy in strip clubs. Like men, they're like, okay, we got to keep our shit together and we're going to watch the women and give them money. That's awesome. But women, they get a couple fucking drinks in themselves and like they think they own the place. And then the male bouncers, they can't do anything. They can't do shit. So like my man, like I would have men come up to me and they'd like try to touch me and stuff. And they'd be like, what does your boyfriend think about you working here? And I'd be like, he's at the door. Why don't you go ask him? Like, whatever. But anyway, they'd come up to me and they'd be like, Leanna, over there. So I'd be like, okay, cool. And I'd be really chill about it. But, you just grab them really hard on the shoulder and you'd be like, not here. And then the girls simmer down pretty quick.
Did you have to like do a deep voice like, hey?
Oh, no. Actually, my man makes fun of me. He says I sound like Sylvester Stallone when I first wake up.
Oh, Adrian.
Hey, not here. Not here.
You gotta do Adrian.
But it was what it was, like it was a good time. Like you get the guys off the rigs and, you'd party after the fact. It's whatever. So, and then Yeah, and then from there, where the fuck did I go to?
A lot of people don't understand either, like, you know, how that contributes to the economy, right? Like, you know, like oil towns and shit like that, like, you know, strip club, smutty and gross and whatnot. But no, like the local economy, like strives from that shit,
huge.
Right? And, like, what did you get?
Don't hate on it.
They made like a decent living off tips alone.
Especially, yeah, I wasn't even a stripper. So this went down in like 2014. I'd say 2014. Yeah. And I wasn't even a stripper, but I also wasn't a bar back. Like I wasn't on the bar. So I was like I would be the girl walking around with like the holsters on her hips and being like, y'all want a shot? Like slinging shots that way. But my whole vibe was kind of like really dominatrixy. Right. So it's like I had the big boots on and like just all black, like whatever. And
what's your safe word?
Yeah, exactly. It's majestic. but yeah, basically, and the thing is like you would have other girls doing that, but for me, like I treated the patrons like shit and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. I'd be like, what the fuck do you want? And they're like, I just want a shot. I'm like, really? Is that all you want? Like what? Like, I would just talk shit to them and they absolutely killed it. You know, like I had one little rig kid. I think he was maybe like just old enough to drink, like 19. And he came up to me and like, he was digging my whole vibe. And he's just like, can you feed me this shot? And I'm like, get fucked. I'm not feeding you this shot. He's like, if I give you $100, will you feed me this shot? And I was like, now you're speaking my language. Get on your knees. Fed him a shot, got $100. Like, you know, that kind of vibe. But
I love it.
But that was mostly just for like in between jobs because ultimately my job is the oil field.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you just got to know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And at that time, that was my strength.
Fuck, I love that.
Just treating people like shit was my strength, and I made good money doing it. And then I think I left Fort Lloydminster, and then where did I go? Came to Edmonton. Actually did pest control for a little bit. But it was actually for like specially trained sniffer dogs.
Oh,
so
shit.
So these dogs were like weed sniffer dogs and shit. But when you're looking for like bed bugs, apparently bed bugs put off a smell. So
really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, they have like a little smell to them. So like I had my coworker, her name was Sheba, and she was like an ex-drug sniffer dog. And we would go down Sheba. But yeah, she was a what was she? She was like a border collie or whatever. But we would fly up into camps, and then that's how we would check for bed bugs in the camps. So she would like sniff all the rooms and everything like that. And then if she got bored and wasn't finding anything, we would have like these little fucking bed bugs and little vials, and we'd hide them. And then she'd be like, I found something. And you're like, yeah, you did. As if I didn't hide that for you.
Shit, I was in a camp one time, and you know how like when they send the drug sniffing dogs in and they find something, they put a boot on your door, and then when you come back at the end of the day, like I gotta go get this boot off my door. What the fuck? I had a boot on my door when I got back. I'm like, I don't do drugs. What the fuck? I was all worried. Shit. I ran to the front desk and I'm like, hey, I got a boot on my door. What's going on? And she's like, oh, that was meant for your neighbor. Sorry, we just have to take yours off. I'm like, oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It's true. And then from there, like I did scaffolding for a little bit with after the Fort McMurray fire. So I was up in Fort Mac and we lost everything in the fire. So we came down to Edmonton and I met this guy in a bar and I only had like $40 to my name. It was absolutely insane. Me and my man, we had like $40 to our name.
Fort Mac during the fire?
Yeah, we lost everything.
Oh,
so we were in the Parsons Creek area. So we were on Prospect Drive. The whole place was fucking leveled, which is weird because the fire went around and then the wind changed and just fucking took everything.
That's fucking brutal.
Where there was this one awesome guy, and I'm gonna give a shout out to this guy. If this guy ends up actually seeing this podcast, I gotta give him a shout out. This guy stole a bulldozer, okay, and he started making fire breaks all along these communities, like busting down like busting down fences and trees and stuff to make fire breaks. And by the time the cops got to him and arrested him, he was just about to make it to our community. And because he didn't make it to our community, all the other communities were saved on the west or the northern side of Fort Mac, but ours got burnt down. So right, that guy deserves so many shots, so many medals, so many like whatever.
I bet you doesn't fucking regret a damn thing either.
Right? So yeah, we lost everything in the Fort Mac fire, and we came down to Edmonton, and we had like $40 left in our pocket. We didn't even have a bed. We were just sleeping in the bedding that the evacuee centers gave us, kind of thing, on the floor like a nest. And I met this one guy, and he's just like, "Come with me. We're going to the casino." I'm like, "We're poor." He's like, "Daddy's got you." That's what he always said. And if he sees this, he's gonna know exactly who he is, buddy. You're gonna know who you are. So we go to this casino, and he's like, "This is my boss." And he looks at me and my man, and he's like, "You guys ever scaffolded before?" And we're like, "No." And he's like, "You want to?" And we're like, "Fucking rights, we want to." So I've never been in such good a shape when I was scaffolding. Like, you basically get paid to work out.
Yeah.
And it's like you either make it or you don't. Like, if you work next, yeah. Like, I don't know if you've ever had to lift like a 3-meter double ledger, but those motherfuckers are like pushing 80 to 100 pounds. And when you have to hand bomb a bunch of those things, like, you get paid to work out. It's tight.
That's badass.
It's a good time. It's a great time.
Look, there's a lot of incredible, like TikTokers from within the industry on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and I love watching them. And like, I love watching scaffolders do their thing, and paramedics do their thing, and vac haulers do their thing, and drillers, and all that shit. And then you've been fucking everything.
Well, and see that I actually kind of regret the fact that like that social media wasn't as big when I did my stuff, or like smartphones or whatever wasn't as big of a thing, because I really wish that I could have like just slapped on a body cam and just people would watch that shit. They totally would watch that shit. Oh my god.
Well, Uncle Hack was doing it then, right? Like,
well, was he a scaffolder?
No. He was an operator, like a field operator. But he was making videos showing shit then, right? Like,
and he's not making. Yeah, we were actually talking about that recently. Like, he's not making videos now because he's more touring, like in the whole like shut you down kind of situation.
Yeah.
I apologize. I did not suit myself up enough for this situation. Give me one hot sec, because I gotta go get a pack of smokes.
No,
I'm not going to the corner store. They're just inside. So.
I can randomly talk. Don't you worry about that.
No, I definitely appreciate it. But yeah, no, scaffolding, loved it. You got paid to work out, met a lot of great guys. We worked for a specific situation just north of Fort Mac before it went live, and we moved 3.6 million pounds of gear in 3 months.
Wow.
And it was awesome.
That's insane.
Like, I absolutely loved it, because the thing is, it's like, being a woman is one thing, that's fine, but I don't have to like push that I'm a woman. I don't have to make somebody else feel inferior. It's like, just because I'm a woman, I'm your coworker. So as long as I work equally as hard as the person next to me, I'm not out here to like make a name like, oh yes, women can do it best. No. As long as I can do your job and you can do my job, we're good.
Fuck yeah.
But you get some situations where they show up and they're trying to fill quotas, and then they don't last very long. But give me a hot sec. I'm going to get a pack.
Talk about my watch that I just got, the hard hat watch, like the new smartwatch thing. Yeah, look at that.
I saw that. That looks awesome.
It is. It's indestructible, apparently. I've seen, guy run it over with a packer and throw it off a 4-story building and smash it with a sledgehammer. Tomorrow, I'm going to run it through the vac truck at work. I'm sucking it right up.
So the hard hat watch, does that go on your wrist?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
Oh, because what it makes me think of, while we're on the topic of motherfucker, of scaffolding is so I'm gonna grab a hard hat here real quick just to explain to you. So anyway, so we had when I was scaffolding, owls, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. So we would go to the new guys and they'd be like, dude, you gotta go to this guy. And he's straight up indigenous, right? So they'd be like, you can ask him what time it is. Ask him what time it is, and he'll tell you exactly what time it is by looking at the sun. And so they'd go and they'd be like, dude, what time is it? Right? And anyway, he'd have his hard hat on and he'd get like right sacred with it. My hard hat's on the back just so that you can't see my company name. Yeah. That's fine. But anyway, he'd have his hard hat on and he'd look at the sun and he'd like touch the dirt, get right sacred. And he'd take the hard hat off and then he'd come up and he'd be like, it's exactly 2:37 in the afternoon. And they'd freak out. They would lose their minds every time. But the thing is, he actually just had a watch right inside of his hard hat. So every time he took his hard hat off, he knew what it was.
That's
but
funny.
He was just straight up fucking with them. Like
that's
hard.
Funny. I love that shit. So you're a mom too, eh? Like you were
I am.
Like you have stepkids, but you've been with them long enough to be, like their mom.
Oh, totally. Wait, I lost my cigarettes.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Nicotine abuse. There we go.
Don't hate. But yes, no, I am a stepmom. I have been with my stepkids for 10 years now.
Wow.
So I actually met their father in the oil field 11 years ago now. And we met while I was working tailings, and he was water hauler. And I myself wasn't really like into having kids. Like I never really wanted to have kids. And they know this. But when I met them, he's like, well, you know what? Just his one youngest son was a year old and his other son was 6 years old. And I was like, all I could picture was like what kids are like. Because we know what kids are like. Like we know that. And I was just like, oh man. I was like, okay, fine. Like I'm going to, I'll humor you. So anyway, I met his kids and they are so friggin' chill. Absolutely have been chill since day one. And I absolutely love the aspect of being a mother without having to like be a mom.
Yeah.
Like I didn't give birth to them, but I raised them.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. Absolutely so cool. Like I've got to see them grow up. I get to see them go through stages in life and be a part of that. Like I did the potty training and like the solid foods. I did all that stuff, but now like they're 12 and 17 and you're going through a whole other stuff. Like I'm helping. We're trying to help them with homework and
puberty
and everything like that. Oh yeah. Actually they're
girls.
Well, and that's its own thing, right? But I absolutely love being a mom. I was helping the oldest recently with his homework, and he happens to be needing help with two of my most prominent situations, which is like history and anatomy, biology, whatever. And I'm like, I got you.
I got you. Let's do this.
I got you. I absolutely love being a mom even though they're not mine, I absolutely love being a mom. Absolutely love it.
Hell yeah. When you operated, I was going to say, when you operated a vac truck, right? Did you ever think about I'm going to fucking suck these kids in this vac truck and I'm going to just leave them in there, Like I've thought about it a few times. Honestly, no. They spend most of their time with their biological mother, and she's an amazing mom. She's an absolutely amazing mom. And it is actually kind of a weird dynamic because
me and the biological mom are so different in personalities. So she's very much like kind of softer, kind of quieter, kind of like white picket fencer or whatever. And then when it comes to me, I'm just like, I'm telling you, I'm not asking you. And they just go and do their thing.
Are
So
you guys friends? You two? You like?
I wouldn't necessarily like if it wasn't for the situation, we definitely wouldn't hang out.
Yeah.
Like our personalities are way too different, but it's very amicable, very much so.
Good.
Like she's an absolutely amazing mom. It's just our personalities are way too polarity, and yeah, I'm not gonna say too much, but she's just softer. And so when it comes to me and the boys, and I'm just like, hey, go do this. They go do it. And she's like, well, why don't they listen to me like that? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. But I absolutely love being a mom or a stepmom or whatever you want to call it. Everything I do is for them. And it's hard. Um, like my man, he's away for 3 weeks at a time. I'm away for 3 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And then when we do come home, we come home for a week, but we can only have them for a weekend of that week because they're in school.
Yeah.
So we make the money to help the kids to pay for everything that they need, but we only get to see them for like 3 days out of a month.
Are you two on the same schedule, like 3 like 3 weeks on, 1 week off? Like you on the same 3-week rotation?
Yeah. So my man, he's on a 3-1. Me, I'm on kind of a more. I can kind of make my own schedule a little bit more. Like I'm a paramedic and do technical rescue in the oil field. So I yeah, we don't have a schedule. We just go with what the client needs. But basically I just tell my office, I'm like, hey, I have this week off, so you better work me before or after,
It's kind of wild because like I'm on my own schedule too, right? Like here, anyways. When I make my own schedule. I usually do like 3 to 4 weeks on and 1 week off and shit. It's amazing how the oil field's changed that way a bit in the last few years, right? Because before it was like you're on this schedule and that's it. You're gonna miss this, you're gonna miss that, and if you don't like it, go fucking work somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like with the workforce changing a bit, like they need people and like they're more forgiving when it comes to like schedules and shit, right? They're like, hey, what do you want to work? Like
yeah, they definitely are. And honestly, like I'm kind of, and I'm almost ashamed to admit this, but I'm kind of a workaholic. So like there's been times like where they do that thing, like if you work over 21 days, as long as you verbally agree to it, they can keep working you longer. Like I've worked like 58, 60 days in a row, and I have absolutely no problem doing that.
6 months at a time.
Yeah. The only reason why I do the schedule I do is for my husband and stepkids. Otherwise, I would just be like, use me, abuse me, lose me, like whatever. It's kind of a.
I did the 6 months on, 6 months, or 6 months on, and then less than a week off. So 20 days at home in 2 years during the pandemic, because I had moved them back to Ontario for a little piece of time, right? Like there was, I think it was just under 2 years we moved back for, and so it was like 20 days at home in 2 years, if that, and that was hard. That was hard mentally. That was hard. Like just it drained us all. Like I was down in the dumps, and that's why the podcast and the content started, right? Because I needed an outlet. And
it helps.
It 100% did. And this past fall, I got to be at home every night for almost a month. I was on a pipeline 20 minutes from my house. I got to go home every night, and that mental side.
See, that's a gravy gig right there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Exactly, and it was like I never experienced that oil field life when you get to be home every night, and it was completely different. Like the mental side of my job was gone. Right, all I had to do was focus on the physical. And honestly, I was working on a hydrovac on a pipeline. It was fucking gravy. And so, for a whole month, and I got to
especially if you're frac standby, that's a gravy gig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I got to go home and man, like game changer. You know, I got to lay in my bed every night. Got to cuddle the wife with no clothes on every night. I got to watch what it didn't have every night. You know, I got to watch movies with them. I got to come home and have dinner, and it was.
Which is crazy. Like you see people and they're like, well, why can't you do this for your kids? And you're just like, well, you get to see them every night. You get to see them every day. And last year, I know that my husband wanted to see his kids a little bit more, right? So he took the summer off so that he could spend the whole summer with his kids. And I said, well, if you want to do that, you understand I'm going to have to work away for the whole summer just so that you can do that. So I had no problem doing it. Like I just worked my ass off so that he could do that. For the kids. And it's like it's its own thing, right? Like you just do it.
I have a question for you. Do you know what viscosity is?
Yes, I know what viscosity is.
All right, well, what's viscosity in your words? Let's
viscosity is the thickness of a liquid. So a highly viscous liquid is a highly viscosity, or a highly viscous liquid would be something as honey. A low viscous liquid would be something like water.
Great explanation, man. The Mudman would be fucking proud, Like where I'm going with this, the podcast is sponsored by the Mudman, right? The Mudman, mudmarket.com,
Mudmarket.com.
The Mudman deals in the thickness of your load, you know what I mean? Yeah, fucking right. He deals in the thickness of your load. How thick do you want it?
It is true. It's true, especially when you're working combo unit, back truck, whatever. You got to know the thickness of your load.
Yeah, are you gonna be sucking on some 1300 weight, or are you gonna be sucking on 1300 weight, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna be sucking on 1300 weight, you can use a 3-inch. If you're gonna be sucking on 2100 weight, you better bust out that fucking 4-inch hose, homeboy.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And I was almost expecting this question because you seem to ask that question on most of your podcasts.
Every episode, since episode 14 or 15, whatever it was,
what is a viscous liquid? Yes.
Yeah, viscous load, like how thick do you need your load?
Honestly,
right?
though, when you're working combo, you suck on some fucking viscous ass loads.
You do.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Insane viscosity. We did a job recently here, what was it, last month, and it kind of almost killed me inside because I was working rescue. So I'm not in there sucking it, but you could tell the guys who had worked with a vac truck and the guys who hadn't, because they're holding the hose like vertically over it, or they're burying it and they're fucking airlocking the whole hose. And I would look at the guy and I'd bang on the side of the tank, and I'm rescue, like I'm your technical rescue, but I'm like, hey, he's burying his hose, and he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, hold it at a 45 degree, man, give it some air, you got this. But it was I'm up top and I'm just like,
I had to go
just trying to keep my shit together.
I had to go clean out some heavy horse tanks on one of the rigs last week. It took us like 7 days to clean like 9 tanks or whatever. It was awesome. I loved it. It got great hours. But I was standing up top and fucking I put the hose in, and I was laying on it because it had kind of scooped up a little bit, and I pulled it back, and if I didn't lay on it, it would have stuck back. So it comes right in. And it was in the perfect angle where the tip of the hose was just up a little bit, and it was feeding it real good. I'm like, oh, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought I got a lot of it, right? So I went down there still above my knees. I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I sat down on the pipe and I held the hose against my leg, and I held my elbow back. I held the back of the hose with my elbow like this, and I just held it on my knee, and I sat there for 2 hours just sucking. Right, and then when I got down to just above my boot, I got in there and I set it up all nice, and it was viscous shit. It was super viscous. It was invert.
Oh yeah.
It was really thick fucking invert. It was probably 2100 weight. It was heavy. And
yeah.
I waited till I got it down a lot, and then I set the hose up and I went to town. I just it took us 6 hours to do this fucking tank.
The viscosity definitely makes a difference. Like I was watching guys try to suck it, and they're literally like holding it like 4 inches above the product, and it was heavy crude, right?
Yep.
Which has a high viscosity anyway. But they're like holding it like at a perfect 90-degree angle, and I'm like,
no.
Fuck are these guys doing?
Never worked
like,
on a back truck before in their lives.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'm like, I come down and like the roof is like it's a floating roof on a floating roof tank, right? So it's like a live tank with a floating roof, and I'm just like, guys,
one of those big fuckers in Sherwood Park.
Oh yeah, 40. Oh, actually, all the ones when you go up the highway, like north on the east side of town on the ring road, every single one of those tanks, I've been on top of every single one of those tanks.
I've been on top of a few.
Yeah, and like if it's empty, we'll go through the D door, which is fine. It is what it is.
So the Mudman, for all your drilling fluid and laboratory testing equipment needs, like www.mudmarket.com, he's got your back and your front, and all he cares about is how thick your load is, right? So fucking love the Mudman. Solid.
Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah. No, it's cool talking with someone that understands, like I talk to a lot of people in different trades and different, areas of blue collar, but like, fuck, you've been there. You know what I'm talking about.
Man, when it comes down to it, if I'm going to break it all down for your viewers, because you already know. So what would I say? Okay, so tailing spawn, tank cleaning, combo, hydrovac, scaffolding, crane rigging, working in a shitty fucking strip club. Now I'm more on the safety side of things, actually. I'm now a paramedic in the oil field because I was done fucking climbing shit and digging holes. And now I do technical standby, confined space, and trench rescue. So it just kind of all came into it at the end of the day.
Now you're waiting for someone to like nearly die, and you're like, I'm fucking God, and I'm coming.
And honestly, I've worked on quite a few. I've worked on quite a few live tanks, and I have actually had to do a few extrications of individuals just because, back in the day, we were always looking for H2S, CO, oxygen deficiency, and LELs.
Now you're looking for
benzenes. But now we're now looking at benzenes.
Yeah.
And benzenes can overtake a person, but your forehead monitor is not looking for that.
Nope.
So and I've seen a person drop because of that.
Benzene poisoning is very serious.
Very, very, very real. And
the crazy thing about that is, right? Sorry, the crazy thing about that is, right? Everyone's worried about H2S. H2S is going to get you right now, right? Benzenes are coming back in 20 years, right?
Oh yeah,
Benzenes
it's a carcinogen. You're getting cancer, girl.
Yeah.
You're getting
I work
cancer.
On a back truck. I work on a back truck. I don't get much time left. Like I stick my head in P tanks all the time. I'm there. They're starting to test for it a lot more. Now when you go out for working for Chevron, if you're even going to go anywhere near like a P tank or you're going to break the plane at all, you're going to go anywhere near a tank, you're going under air, no matter what. Even if there's no benzenes in there, you're going under air. Doesn't matter. Confined space, air, 100%. That's it.
Well, no even back in the day, like when me and my man used to clean tanks, there was no standby rescue. It was if he drops, you pull him out. You drop, he pulls you out. Like that was it. Like that's the situation. Like we weren't even wearing slicker gear. Like I remember just wearing normal coveralls, being covered in oil, being wet as hell, especially when it was the winter time. They're like, you want to come out of the tank? You're like, no, I don't, because you got your burner.
Place to be,
yeah, you got your burner on, man. Everything's good. Yep. Everything is tight. And now OH&S standards is standby rescue, technical, high angle, rope, whatever kind of rescue that you need. And it's only become a thing in like the last 3 years. So
it's become very serious in the last half decade, right? Like five-ish years, like
huge. Yeah. I go to jobs where like guys are doing shit I used to do 10 years ago. And now I'm the one watching them do it, but they actually have like an escape plan. Like we're the ones, we're going to go in, we're going to literally use ropes and like even level, we're going to haul your ass out there right quick.
Yeah, they got the tripod up there. You got to wear your harness when you go. It doesn't have to be hooked up to anything, but you got to wear it. So if they got to go down there, they can use the tripod to get you up. And a lot of the times, even the I don't like when the safety guys are like, you can wear that harness underneath your rain gear. I'm like, no, listen.
Please don't.
Like,
please don't.
I'm gonna wear it above my rain gear because if you're gonna let me give you permission to wear it underneath, I'm not putting it on, and I'm gonna tell you that I did. And
not at all.
I'm wearing it above so you can hold me accountable for actually wearing it because I know myself. I'm gonna break all these rules. I'm not gonna say I'm old school oil field, but like I'm definitely not like I'm that transition between.
I'm old school oil field, and I understand, for sure.
I'm that transition. I'm right in between the old and the new, right?
Well, go ahead.
No. I was just saying,
also, the thing is. Yeah, the thing is that I've also noticed now that like technical rescue and air supply and everything like that is a thing. Again, I can't mention names of companies, but in general, we keep getting brought on because they kick other companies off site. And I'm just like, well, what the fuck are these people doing when you should just be doing your job? And I was working with somebody a little down south, and she just came over from one of those companies. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're going on top of this tank. We're rigging in. We're doing our thing. We're getting ready. And she's like, well, normally we wouldn't rig in. We wouldn't get our gear ready. We just sit in the truck and wait in case something happens. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm sure the guy dying in the tank wants to wait for you for 30 minutes for you to rig up your gear and then come in and get them. No, you need to have your shit together.
Yeah.
Like have it ready to rock, as it is.
You got rope access training for your stuff, right?
Yeah, so I am so I'm not rope access, I'm not IRATA or SPRAT. Rope access is more for individuals who are tradesmen to get to where they need to go to do their job. So what I do is I am technical high angle rope rescue. So rescue is different than access.
Okay.
And then we have operations and technicians. I myself am a technician. So I also am part of I guess I'm a trainer for my company, which I very much enjoy. And I love training people, like to teach them new awesome stuff. So as a paramedic and then technical high angle access technician.
That's a lot.
It's so much. Every time somebody asks me, they're like, what do you do? And I'm like,
here's the abbreviation.
Yeah, the abbreviation. And then I also have specialties in like trench rescue, tower rescue, confined space rescue, that kind of thing. And then even before I got into the oil field, so before I even went into oil field at all, I actually went to college to become a funeral director.
Shut up. You even went to college,
I went to college.
Next thing you're gonna be all like, hey, I once ran a marathon in Pakistan, like the governor.
Fuck marathons. But actually, I was expecting you to say it. You're not the first person to say it. Yeah, no, I went to college and university to become a funeral director and embalmer. And then when I got bored with that, I went and took specialty courses for mass fatalities, facial reconstruction, and advanced decomposition.
You really wanted to just shove your hand in a dead person's body, didn't you? What's that like? I'm
too many. Too many.
You could literally take a dead person and treat them like a puppet. You could be
I wouldn't say it's that easy, but I mean, if you want to go biology wise, but yeah, no, it's at last count, it was it's 2,600 bodies under that I've.
Yeah. You got a body count.
Shit. I got a body count, but it's not sexual.
No. Hey, you took it there. No, I mean, good for you.
No. Yeah. It's so I got bored with that, and then I ended up working with a company in Toronto for technical body recovery for the Toronto Coroner's Office and the Canadian military. And shit gets real.
Do you have a
man.
podcast? Because like this is where I feel this is going now. You're like, like I got a podcast too, right? Because
I don't have a podcast.
People tend to have a podcast. I'm not interesting, but like all these kind of like people tend to have like a podcast. You know what I mean? You should start one. You should. You should literally start one.
You sound like my husband. He's like, you should write a book, and I'm like, I don't know. Although to be fair, do you remember Jack Layton?
Of course, I remember Jack Layton. That's the only NDP person I've ever voted for. I will ever vote for.
I picked up Jack Layton when he passed away.
No.
At his house, yes, I did.
Oh, you get to meet Olivia Chow?
I met Olivia Chow in her home on Huron Street, and it was wonderful. And then I picked up her family the next day in a limo, and it was a situation. It was so early in the morning, and then we had to dodge like news vans, and like it was a whole situation. I don't want to go too much into the story because I don't want to potentially upset Olivia Chow if she sees this story.
Well, now Olivia Chow's like governor, fucking mayor, or whatever.
But if she does see it, Olivia Chow, I'm speaking straight to you. I remember going to your home on Huron Street. I apologize for asking that shitty car in front of your house was yours. I knew it wasn't, but I had to ask. And Jack looked amazing in his golden kimono. It was beautiful, and I was so happy to be a part of it. So anyway,
that's incredible.
Yeah, it was a moment, man.
You swam with dolphins, haven't you? Like killer whales. You swam with killer whales.
Never. I've never actually swam in the ocean, so I can't even speak to that. I've never swam in the ocean. You have all these incredible
stories, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I've never been to the ocean, bro."
I've never been to the ocean.
I've been to the ocean. Come on, I've been to both.
No, I've never. The first time I ever saw the ocean was like last year. Went to Vancouver for a technical rescue job, and I put my feet in it, and it was like dirty, and there's like kelp and shit. But I've never actually swam in the ocean.
Vancouver's where I saw my first starfish.
Oh yeah,
wild starfish. That was cool.
I spent 3 years last year at the start of January to March of 2023. I was down there for Trans Mountain Pipeline. I was down there for technical rescue, and we had a bunch of guys from like Texas, Louisiana, and it was
Louisiana.
It was totally. And they didn't want us to go in the pipe. I'm like, can we have a mock rescue? And they're like, no. And I'm like, why not? And they're like, I don't know. But then like once I went down, they were like, if you realize how fucked up it is down there, you're gonna leave. And I'm like, I already knew how fucked up it was. Like I have to go 300 meters below the earth on a fucking skateboard to save you. Like I understand how fucked this situation is.
So like you've been all over Alberta then, all over Saskatchewan, I assume, all over BC?
BC, Northwest Territories.
And WT, shout out, love it up there.
Yeah.
Fort Smith, been up there shortly after they got their Tim Hortons, the first Tim Hortons in Fort Smith. We, with 4 people, tripled their capacity. It took us an hour and a half to get us all our food and drinks. Our boss, there was a crew of like 30 people, and our boss was like, hey, no one is allowed to go. We're not all allowed to go. I'll designate one fucking person from now on to go. You leave your list with him, you give him your money, then he goes. You're not all fucking my day up for this shit.
I love that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I was never that guy. But that would have been sweet. Half your day is just waiting at Tim Hortons.
You ever do work in Saskatchewan?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Kindersley, fucking North Battleford, Saskatoon.
North Battleford is rough as fuck. But
Battleford's my jam. I love that area. Shout out to the Tropical Inn in North Battleford.
Right there. But honestly, if you're ever in Saskatchewan, most people don't know this, and I'm more or less saying this for just everybody. Weyburn, Saskatchewan.
Fucking all you can eat KFC buffet. What?
He knows it. You know it. That's exactly it. The only one in the world. Go and eat that shit.
The only one in Canada. They have them in the US. Yeah.
Oh, do they? Okay, fine. The only one in Canada.
Fun fact about that shit. I went there the first COVID summer. We were working in Weyburn. And I called ahead to make sure this place was going to be open when I heard, like, hey, Weyburn has the only all-you-can-eat KFC buffet in Canada. I called ahead, and they're like,
it's our thing.
Yeah. sorry, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the buffet is closed. I'm like, motherfuckers, right? So 2 summers ago, I go back to Weyburn. I call ahead again. I'm like, hey, the buffet's open this time, right? You go, we're long past this COVID bullshit now. And they're like, actually, sir, sorry, we've closed the buffet. It no longer exists. I'm like, son of a bitch. The people in the town of Weyburn protested.
They petitioned. Yeah, they petitioned to open it up again.
They brought it back, and I got to rot my guts out and have the nastiest shit of my life after.
My friends of Weyburn.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the residents of Weyburn. And also in Weyburn is the Stranger Danger Candy Co., which I helped name like 3 summers ago.
I'm sorry. Hold up. Give me a second. The Stranger Danger Candy Co.?
Yeah, candy.
Stranger Danger.
Yep.
Okay, I just needed to clarify that.
I helped name that fucking place like 2 or 3 summers ago now when I was there. Delia, she runs this fucking joint, right? And she owns like a trucking school in town, and she does all that stuff. She opened up a candy store, and before it even became a store, I got to go and check it out. She's like, hey, Dick, come check out my candy situation, right, while you're here. So I did. I went.
That sounds rapey as fuck.
It was in like a shack, like a trailer, like a command center that we see on.
That sounds extra rapey as fuck. Is what I'm saying.
Crazy, right? I walk in and she gives me this bucket of candy, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know you, Stranger Danger, right? And this is how it fucking came to be. It's literally called Stranger Danger Candy Co., right? And
I love that.
Fucking help name this place. I love Delia. We haven't had her on the podcast yet. We need to get her and
get her on here.
Oh hell yeah, we need to get her and Corso Chris on at the same time. They both own candy stores, and they're both good friends. And I don't want to like have Delia on and then not have Chris on, because Chris is like one of my best friends, and she just started her own candy store like a year ago. And like, fuck man, like no, candy stores are fucking awesome. They're Delia and Weyburn, Saskatchewan, man. I fucking love that place.
Weyburn, what's up, man? Also,
Weyburn.
speaking of little towns, I don't know if you're familiar with the restaurant in Czar, Alberta.
Oh, the one that sells game meat.
The Fireside.
Yeah, it sells like wild game meats and shit like that.
They almost went bankrupt, and then they were just like, hey, what if we like did crazy meats and stuff? So like you can eat python, shark, snapping turtle, alligator, fucking like whatever they're like. If you're ever down, even in just the Hardesty area, Wainwright, whatever it is, like just dip
for
over.
For all you racists out there, if you're ever at a meeting in Provost, and you know what I'm saying, right? And you're hungry, SAR is only down the highway about 40 minutes.
Is Provost a racist ass town? Is that what you're talking about?
There is an active clan in Provost. Yeah. When I was down there working, my colored coworkers, my coworkers of color, had to be escorted to the grocery store, right?
Holy actual fuck!
Yep. It's a wild little town, man. Provost
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So it's fucked up. It's fucking wild. And the same with Caroline, Alberta. There's an active clan there as well.
That's bullshit. I actually have some advice. I had a friend of mine that I was working with on fracs up near Grand Prairie, and I gave him this advice, and this works for women too. This works for both people of color and women. If you're in a situation where somebody makes some insanely racist or sexist joke, pretend that you don't get it. Look at them. They make it, and then you just go, I don't get it. And then watch how uncomfortable they get having to explain that they were racist or sexist. Like, they get real uncomfortable fucking quick.
Oh, yeah.
And I've only had to use it a couple times, like when I first started in the oil field. Like, I had somebody flat out look me in the face when I first started in 2013. And he looked at me and he was like, women don't belong in the oil field. And I was like, great. Fuck you. But yeah, he would make these jokes and I would just be like, I don't get it. And then watch how gay he gets when he like has to explain his shenanigans.
I love that shit. It's just like when people piss me off on a back truck, and I'm a swamper, right? I'm learning the shit pattern and starting to drive a little bit now.
Oh, so you swamp?
Oh yeah, it's my jam. Okay. I love that shit. It's provided me great content, right? Like this is why I've stayed this long, truthfully, right? Like
nothing wrong with that.
Fuck no. So like when people piss me off, I pretend like I don't know how to do things. I've been on a back truck for 6 years, bro. Like I know how to do like damn near everything on that damn truck except for driving. Buddy pissed me off one day, and we're chaining up. Right, and he expected me to
chaining up sucks.
Oh yeah, it fucks people.
Right. When you go to House Mountain, worst thing ever.
So I'm sitting there, he's pissing me off. I'm like, how do I chain up, bro? I don't know how to do this. And I'm like struggling, pretending to struggle. Fucking watch this guy get down on his knees in the mud. It was raining, and he's like doing it for me. And I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. All right. And I get in the truck, I'm like fucking clean. He's just mad for the rest of the day. I'm like, yeah, man.
Love that.
You, man. Don't piss me off. I know exactly what I'm doing and how to do
a lot of shit. the only time I ever enjoyed chaining up is on a picker. Because if you're on a knuckle picker, it's like, oh, we got to chain up. And they're like, oh, let me just rig out real quick. And then they just lift the whole fucking truck up and you can just chain up like nobody's business. But if it's a body job, or even a fucking like class 1, whatever, like that's bullshit. It sucks.
So
it sucks so hard. Oh,
you know where the Simonette is, eh?
Yep.
So we were going down the Simonette. Sorry for people that are gonna listen. I get dragged through the mud for the way I say Simonette. Right,
that's
so fucking we're going down the Simonette in the spring, right? It's fucking disgusting. Maybe the fall, I can't remember which one it was, but it was fucking disgusting either way. We're going down the Simonette, and we're in a semi-back, and Buddy's like, get up and chain up your side of the back axis. I'm like, okay, that's fine, cool, let's go, bro. Fucking, he's on his side doing his thing. I take the chains to the fucking back wheels of the trailer. And I'm fucking struggling. I get him in there. I get him on. He comes around. He looks like,
that's not what they're supposed to be, though.
He's like, what the fuck, man? Like, we're not supposed to put the chains there. I'm like, oh shit, what do you mean? He's like, the back axle of the fucking truck, not the fucking trailer, right? And then he's looking, and I'm like, oh shit, sorry, man. He's like, man, I'm not even mad. He's like, I don't know how the fuck you got those on there. I'm impressed, right? And I'm like, fucking said, oh shit, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, no, you gave her.
Oh, fuck
you gave her just to do it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I love that.
They were on there, and he's like, now you got to take them off, and now we got to put them back on this side, though. But good job either way. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
You know what, though? It's like we all fuck up. Like, we all fuck up, and that's how we learn in the oil field. Unless they, like, fuck you up, and they're like, hey, man, get me a bucket of steam. Or get me a sky hook, which they don't actually realize a sky hook really exists.
No, sky hook actually exists, man.
It does actually exist. It does. Yeah. Sky hooks are a real thing. Or you get the guys and they go like on the ball of the crane and they're like, you got to tighten that up. And it just keeps going. And you're like, no, man. No, that's not how it fucking rolls down.
Have you seen that trend online right now? Women being asked, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a bear or a man?
I have. I recently saw that, and then you see the guys who get really pissed off because it's like the guys have to think about it.
Yeah,
they have to think about it. They're like, would I rather be stuck with another man or a bear? And a women like flat out are like, oh yeah, no, a bear.
What would you rather be stuck with?
What kind of bear?
I said the same thing when I asked her what kind of bear.
Yeah, if it's a black bear, oh yeah, no, black bears are pussies, man. If it's a grizzly or a Kodiak, then we're talking.
Okay,
then we're talking.
Let's make it interesting. You could rather be stuck in the woods with a man or a grizz?
Grizz. Again, it's like, is it a man I don't know? Is it a man I know prior?
I think it'd be a man that you don't know, or a man that you know is fucking like a piece of shit, right? Like, I get.
But then also, like, what stature is that? But the fact that I have to ask these questions, like, how tall is the man? How big is the man? How whatever, for me to actually say whether it's a man or a bear, we're like, you know what? Actually, I mean, like, you look at Timothy Treadwell or whatever, the guy that like fucking Grizzly Man, You know, like he hung out with fucking grizzlies for like 10 years, and it took them 10 years to eat him and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they like fucking like they waited like 10 years. They're like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna get to know this dude.
Oh yeah.
No,
and that's exactly it.
I understand a lot of the women's answers to it. I get it. I understand. While I saw one answer that really blew my mind. It's like, well, when the grizzly attacks me or when the bear attacks me, they're not gonna ask what I was wearing, right? And I
that's fair.
get it. I understand a lot of shit. I understand it. I get it. Men are fucking, but women are just as bad too, right? But like,
and honestly, I have to agree with you on that. That women are just as bad.
It's
men.
A tough
one. Okay. I figured we were actually going to get to this conversation at some point, and I was kind of hoping we would. So, buckle up, kids.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
So the thing is I get asked a lot if I'm a feminist. I get asked that all the time, and I will flat out fucking say no. I'm not a feminist.
Feminism ruined a lot of shit in this, and we're not saying I don't agree in women with women's rights and women equality and shit like that.
I'm not saying no to that. That's not what I'm looking for. No, at the end of the day, feminism had its roots in the right place, but feminism nowadays. Feminism is looking to be superior to men. I don't consider myself a feminist. I'm an equalist. Is that men, I don't believe as a woman I'm better than men. And I don't believe men are better than me.
Yeah.
I believe that we should be equal. But we also have to completely understand, men and women have strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
We definitely do. And of course, some women... it's like a Venn diagram. Some women can do the men things. Some men do great things. Like I know some fucking wicked ass sewers that are men, and they make awesome costumes and like do whatever they do.
I'm a
which is great.
Vacuum cleaner guy. I love it. Fuck yeah.
Exactly. But I believe that there should be equality in the sense, but feminism has just kind of like gone off on its own track. And I'm not negating the trauma that women have experienced from men. I'm not negating that at all, because that is a very real thing. But also, we don't look at the trauma that men have experienced from women. If I'm in trouble, right, and I need assistance, there are so many women's shelters that I can go to. If you're in trouble, and you need assistance, all you have is a homeless shelter. There's not a men's shelter. Men can be raped. Men can be domestically abused, but we don't like to acknowledge that. Men are almost like the silent victims, and especially in the oil field, is you see signs and posters now in the camps, which are amazing. Like, hey, do you need somebody to talk to? Please talk to us.
Going on right now.
That huge. And the thing is that the suicide rate amongst men is higher than women. We all know that. But then the suicide rate amongst oil field workers that are men is exponential. And they need that support. And when I'm saying this to the partners, and I know that like I'm in a situation where I am out in the field and my man is out in the field. So, but we've talked, and he's had a situation where he was with his ex-wife and she wasn't an oil field worker. And like I said, like men are fixers. Men want to fix things. Men want to help things. Yep. She would call him and she would say, hey, this is what's going on, this, and this. Well, you're having a vacation because you're in camp. Camp is not a fucking vacation. You go to work, you fucking go to sleep. That is your life. And then when your woman comes to you or your partner comes to you and says, this is what's wrong, I can't help you. I can't help you from this distance, and I want to. And then that weighs on your mind.
Absolutely.
It's completely fucking devastating to a partner. If my partner wasn't in the oil field and if I was away and he says, hey, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, that needs to be done. Oh, I'm struggling with this. I wouldn't be able to sleep or handle it either. That's a huge part. So mental health in the oil field is a big part of it. But the fact that like 90% of the workforce is men, A. B, men are taught not to talk about their feelings.
Yep.
C, that you don't have the support needed. D, that the suicide rate amongst men is huge. And it absolutely fucking breaks my heart. I'm in a situation where, again, me and my husband, I understand this. Completely. When I talk to my man, he's out in Kitimat and I'm out fucking who knows where. I could be in Alberta, I could be in BC, I could be fucking, I don't know where I'm going half the time. Send him away floating. We talk about how much we miss each other and who knows what kind of issues, but if the issue can wait, we don't talk about it.
Yep.
We'll talk about it when we're home.
Yep.
But even aside from the oil field situation is men might already be struggling going out there. It's not what their women are telling them on the phone. It's that they're already struggling. And men are taught not to talk about their issues.
Yep.
And the suicide rate is so high. It's so brutal. It's so insane. And then you add the oil field on top of it.
It's a daunting lifestyle. It's not for the weak-hearted, right? You know,
absolutely,
most can, right? And we talk about it all the time. A lot of people come out here thinking it's this kind of toughness, right? It's this kind of toughness, right? A lot of fucking juice heads are like, oh yeah, I'm here, and hey man, I've seen fucking juice heads crumble. You know, I've seen fucking guys go to the gym all the time, crumble, can't hack it, and it's not their fault. I understand. You know, like you invested too much time into the wrong kind of toughness. You know, like expand your mind. You know, work on that mindful, you know, mental side of shit. And
but the thing is, it's not just what you come in with. It's your mental stability is one thing, but it's also the support system that you have or don't have.
Yep.
And you can be as tough as you think in your mind. Like I suffer from PTSD because I've seen a little too much shit. But I think I have it under control, but I have it more under control with the people around me. And it's the same thing with men in camp, men who are away from home, men who want to see their kids. You know what? You might hate your wife, but at the end of the day, you don't hate your kids.
Yep.
You need to see your kids, you need to see your family, and you need to have the structure. So as strong as you think you are in your mind, you are stronger with the structure that you have around you. And the oil field is starting to get in that way. Like I said, like in camps, they have like the posters like, hey, are you struggling? Come and talk to somebody. The fact that we actually have like psychological counselors in camp is a fucking that's a huge bounce from like 10 years ago. Like I cut my teeth in fucking Wapasu. Wapatrass. Curl Lake Correctional, baby. That's actually where I met my husband.
Curl Lake Correctional Facility.
And I was in Curl Lake for 2 years, but that was before. And now, like, I'll go to like little camps and I'll see those posters, and I'm like, holy fuck, how many men could they have saved doing that?
Oh, back in the day.
It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It's just you're out there fucking hauling ass 12 hours, 16, 14, however many hours a day that you have to do your job.
40 hours that goes for me at one point in time, you know, and 20 hours quite regularly, you know, and it weighs on you, right? Like,
it totally weighs on you.
And you're hungry and you're missing everything that you love. And
yeah.
You know, like,
and then all you want to do is you want to call your missus. So as soon as you call your missus, you want to tell her how much you love her. And all you want to hear back is, hey, honey, I love you too. I care so much about you. But all you hear is, oh, well, this is going on and this and this and this and this and this. And all you want as an individual, man or woman who's working in camp or working in the oil field, all you want is a little bit of, I love you too. I miss you too.
Shout out to
I understand you.
been an amazing person to be on this, oil field life and this journey with. We've been together since we were 16, 17, and fuck, that's all she's ever known, is the oil field life with me. And she knows, she knows. She tells me she's proud of me. She tells me she appreciates how hard I work for our family. She's all about, filling my bucket every chance she gets, right? And I try to fill her bucket as much as I can as well. There's times where I'm exhausted and I'm not really mentally there, but I try, and fucking shout out to Mrs. Frost, man. Like, just the fucking all around incredible woman.
To Mrs. Frost.
Mrs. Frost is a gem, man. Like, I couldn't do this without her. For real. Like, the oil field wives are the backbone of this industry. 100%.
And the thing is, even though I work in the oil field, I'm also still an oil field wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is fucked. It's like you're in it, but you're also still the oil field wife, because it's I just dealt with some shit. But the best advice, and I'm going to say this to the women, I'm going to say this to the women, is, and that just fell out my ears. Okay, so the best thing that I can point out is that men want respect and women want love. If a man doesn't feel respected, he will not give you that love. And if you don't feel loved, it's like when women, like, you always see like sitcoms and they're just like, oh, my husband's fucking ridiculous and like can't get his life together or like figure his shit out or whatever. It's, if you want to feel loved from your man, show him that respect. And it doesn't mean like you kowtowing to everything that he says. It's just saying, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I love you. I appreciate everything that you do for us.
Yeah.
And then when a man feels respected, he'll give you the love that you want.
Hell yeah. My wife does an amazing job also at letting my kids know why I'm gone and why I'm not there. And she's like, hey, these toys we're playing with, this food we're eating, this nice house we live in, that's why dads are gone away. That's why he's away working, right? And my oldest daughter, she's 6, and I talked about this on another podcast. It's really hard, and it kind of hurts a little bit, but she has only ever known, both of my kids have only ever known me gone away, but for the longest time, I was gone for so long because of the pandemic and because it was just the way the situation was. I was gone for so long that she only really knew my wife, right? And when I come home, she's like, who the fuck is this guy in our house? And
for sure.
And she's 6 years old. She's starting to come out of it, right? She's just starting to.
Well, that's when they're starting to get their mental cognitiveness about them, when they're about 6. Yeah.
It really hurts. It really does, where I couldn't even hold her. I couldn't even play with her. And even in the last couple of years, when I talk to her, it's like she doesn't. If my wife's saying something or doing something else, my daughter pretends I don't exist. She won't even acknowledge my existence, right? And like, that fucking hurts kind of a little bit, but I understand it as well. Like, I can't hold her responsible. She's 6 years old. That's the lifestyle she's growing up knowing, right? My youngest, she's 4. And biggest daddy's girl, like she's like, Dad's home, yeah, woo! And like,
well, it's definitely a personality trait, but honestly, one of the earliest memories I have was when I was 5, and it's my mom trying to pass me off, hand me to my dad, and I started crying, and he gave me back to her, and I remember in one of my earliest memories seeing his hurt, and as an adult, I'll sit down and have a beer with my dad. My dad worked his fucking ass off. He's on the autism spectrum, but wasn't diagnosed until his late 50s. And all he knew was like HVAC, like heating, air conditioning, refrigeration, like that shit. But he is a fucking wizard when it comes to what he does. But I remember sitting with him a couple of years ago, and we were having a beer, and he told me, he says, I regret not being there. I regret not being around. And when I was younger, maybe I might have resented that. But as an adult, I looked at him and I said, "You weren't around, so I had a roof over my head, so that I had clothes on my back, so I had food to eat. You weren't there because you loved me."
Yeah,
And
that's tough.
I
That's tough. That's a tough decision.
It's hard. It's definitely hard. And now me and my husband, like our kids spend most of their time with their mom and her new husband, and they only want to spend time with us. But the only reason why we're not there is because we love them. But then there's that like insane dynamic where you're just like, at the end of the day, am I going to regret not being there or providing for them or
Yeah.
whatever? It's fucking crazy. Like you're in a slightly more simple situation where like your children are both of you and your wives.
Yeah.
So like you're in that closer family dynamic where we're slightly more diversified, where we have a mother, a father, a stepfather, and a stepmother.
Yeah.
But
More love, right? There's more love to go around.
yeah, and I was actually helping him with this weekend with his homework, and even the stepfather was just like, "I wish more people cared about me. Like, I wish I had this many people caring about me when I was a kid," kind of
Hell
thing.
yeah.
So,
Hell yeah. You know, I
so
have a
it's its
stepmom
own
growing
thing.
up and she was a bitch. So like
I always worry about that, but at the end of the day, like I know that I absolutely love them, and I know that they like me. Again, me and the mom are just different, but
my mom is with a guy who has been dying for the last 12 years. He's got COPD. And
oh, that's
just
rough.
shriveling away to nothing. Every time I see him, he's smaller and smaller. He sleeps on the couch. Him and I don't get along that well. We don't really like we tolerate each other a bit now, but we used to be like really at each other's throat a lot. He'd say something to me, I'm like, "You're not dead yet," like I'd fucking say it like I was joking, but I wasn't. But when I had kids, my fucking kids love that guy, right? So when they see him, they're like, "What, Papa Mike? What's up?" And my mom like, "What's up, Grams?" And Papa Mike, "What are you doing? I love you. Yada yada yada. Thanks for the toy. Thanks for the money. For the
Yeah.
birthday and whatnot." And when
There's
grandma
no
was like,
trauma there. That's the thing. There's no
right,
trauma between them and that individual where there's
right.
trauma between you and them.
Well,
Yeah,
not
for
really,
sure.
man. I was older when they got together, and there's nothing really there. I didn't grow up with the guy, right? We just didn't like each other, right? And so, but when I see my kids talk to him, and I see the way he fucking lights up when they talk to him and ask for him, when they're smiling and shit, he just lights up. I fucking love that guy. You know what I mean? Like, it took me a long time to come to that, and I was just like, yeah, man, what's going? And I talk to him nice. I'm like, what's up, buddy? How's it going? Like, how you feeling? You need anything we can do to help? Shit like that. I fucking love that guy because of my kids. But same with my in-laws though, right? I fucking hate those people. But like my kids are cool, right? And I never talk shitty or bad about my in-laws when my kids are around, because my kids will have to learn that they're shitty people themselves. But until then, they love them, right? And like
The
I'm just
thing
like,
is that you find the truth, or what was it Shakespeare said, you find the truth out of the mouth of babes, meaning
shit,
that children can show you the truth of the people that you know.
yeah,
Just because you have pre-existing notions, sometimes, you know.
yeah, yeah. Well, my in-laws aren't exactly great people. They're not very nice. They treated my wife like shit. They treat me like shit, and they're not very good grandparents. But like my kids love them. So like that's fucking all that matters. Like
That's all you can do,
yeah,
honestly. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
100%.
I'm a big believer. Like I don't hold grudges against
Yeah.
people. Like I've had people wrong me real fucking hard.
Oh,
And
same.
and the moment that I didn't fucking beat them right up in the face, I'm a good person for not doing that. But but the thing is children can honestly like kind of give you the overall vibe.
Fucking
It's
right.
but
Fucking right.
it's children are just so pure and they just try to see the best in people, and I try to do the same. Just because I might be an asshole, I try to not be an asshole,
Yeah.
because children can usually tell you that shit. So the fact that your children see the good in an individual that you don't see the good in might give you the opportunity to try to like do second best.
Yeah, exactly. Like with my stepdad, right? Like I've never called him my stepdad before, so like that's new, right? But like fucking, like a few years ago, fuck that guy. But I want my kids
What's your stepdad's name?
Yeah, it's Mike.
Mike. Okay, so I would just be like, Mr. Mike. Don't call him your stepdad. I'd just be like, Mr. Mike, Mr. Mitch. Like, I don't know.
You know what? He makes my mom happy. He makes my mom happy too, So like I can't really...
And I have to say the same thing. I'm a stepmother, right? And the kids actually do call me their stepmom, but it's like, it's always been Leanna. It's whatever.
So my dad got with my stepmom. This is like 4 stepmoms ago now, 3 stepmoms ago now. But they were together for 20 years. And my dad got with her for when I was...
Oh, so you said 3 or 4 stepmoms ago. So like you've had many...
Yeah, like, so my dad was with her from the time I was 6 or 7 for 20 years, right? Like 20 years they were together, just about.
Okay.
And I was 6. And my dad's had multiple since they split up like 10 years ago-ish. I don't know fucking how long ago. It was 15 years ago? I don't know. Something like that now, right? And she was not a nice lady. But, she spanked. She tried to spank me. She tried to discipline me one time. And I'm much bigger than her, right? And it was I'm small. So she tried to discipline me. It was funny. I laughed in her face. She tried to lift me up and smack my ass. And I was just laughing. I'm like, hey,
fight me, bitch.
You can fucking have your way with those people over there. But you're not my mom. You come at me and I will fucking get you back, right? And I made her life hell for 20 years. I can tell you that much, right? Like, I wasn't an easy person on her. And she's not that smart, right? She's not that smart. And she probably listens to this at some point. I'm sorry, all right? I saw her, the last time I saw her was a week and a half ago, actually. My sister flew in to have that fucking thing. It's my stepmom, it's my sister's fucking real mom. And we all met up, and she loves my kids too, Like, she's like, I watched you grow up. You were 6, you were like 6 when I got together. You were 20-something when me and your dad split up, I watched you go into a man and fucking, we didn't get along, but hey, it's good to see you being a dad, And I'm like, hey, being a fucking parent ain't easy. I can only imagine it wasn't easy being a step parent, so like, whatever. Yeah, it's got to be hard when your stepkid outsmarts you at a very young age. It's hard.
It's gonna happen eventually.
My fucking 4-year-old, man, she's already smarter. She's already smarter than But you said, kids are a good indicator of, how people are going to be and whatnot. They're the seer of truth or whatever. My 4-year-old's going to prison one day, and I can't wait for it. I am all about teaching.
Your 4-year-old's male or female?
She's female. They're both.
Oh yeah, no, the little girls. And I was a little girl once upon a time, and I was a little teenager once upon a time. You're gonna have your hands.
Oh fuck, we already did. Like fucking, she just a little badass. We're teaching them to take no shit from anyone, but like it's hard to raise someone that isn't taking no shit from someone. You're trying to give them shit, right?
True, totally.
Hey, you know what? I'm teaching my daughter that, there's going to be boys out there that are going to treat her like a toy. But I'm teaching my daughter how to be Annabelle, right? So fucking, you watch the fuck out, right? Like,
and that's totally what you want. Like, when I got into my boy's life, right? So, like, me as a step-parent, like I said, I didn't want kids. End of discussion. I don't want to have my own children. Like, to be fair, I will disclose this. There is a possibility. I do have probably 3 kids out there running around that I don't know about.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Where most guys are like, there could be kids running around that I don't know about. Yeah, no, I donated eggs when I was in college. When they gave you money for that kind of thing. Yeah. So I donated eggs. So I donated 3 eggs. And there could be my own biological children fucking roaming around out there. And if they do like 23andMe or Ancestry.ca or fucking whatever, they could show up on my door and be like, "You're my biological mom." And I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Good for you, though. But, it takes balls.
Hey, I'm not going to use them. Might as well give them to somebody who's going to use them. But
100%. So many people can have kids if you can.
Oh,
If you're
for sure.
fertile.
But so when I met my now husband 11 years ago, he told me, he's like, I have kids. And I was like,
maybe I do too.
I'm like, I don't fucking want kids, period. And he's like, well, I have two boys. And one was 1 year old and the other one was 6 years old at the time. And all I could picture was just like how kids are. Right. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if the D is good enough to stick around for this situation, right? Like, I don't know.
But it was.
Well, no, actually, when I met the kids, holy shit. Like, how those kids came out of him, I can't explain it because I, like, fully expected them to be absolutely insane. And these kids are, like, the most chill, low key. The only time I saw one of them like freak out and cry was when he lost his toenail. And he was like 3 years old at the time. And like they're so chill, which is great. That's a beautiful thing. But then of course. But then also it's like as a step parent, when me and him got together, he was like, well, me and my wife are separated. So I'll tell you the story real quick, actually, how we got together. So we were at this just north of Fort Mac where they have the two lakes, if they know where that is. But anyway, so I used to have to go down into the open pit mine where all the heavy haulers are and stuff like that. Yeah, you know where I am. So anyway, I had to go and get my truck washed. So I came down and there was this one guy and little shithead, like he was younger than I was, but anyway, he was trying to hit it, right? But whatever. Like when you're a girl, especially in Wapatraz, it's like being lowered into a shark tank with a nosebleed. Like it's just fucking retarded, right? So anyway, I was 23 years old, and anyway, he looked at him, my now husband, and he's like, you go over to this girl's truck, get her to sign on to the FLHA, do that shit. So anyway, I'm doing my paperwork. I don't even look up. I see a guy walking up to my truck, and I assume it's this other guy. I roll down the window, and I'm doing my thing. He's like, can you sign on to this? And I said, can you suck my dick? And then I look up, and I'm like, you're not who I thought you were. And he's like, and that's the first thing I ever said to my now husband was, can you suck my dick?
Do any of his boys look like Wolverine too, or what?
Right? Oh, no, actually, I ended up, getting together with him and then got to meet his cool ass fucking kids. And,
he looks like Wolverine in some of those pictures, for sure. And
he does. Honestly, did you go through my Instagram? Because there is that one picture where he took off his thing and he totally looks like, now he's going white pretty hard.
So am I, man. I found some grays in the mustache. When I grow the beard out, the
thing is,
chin is fucking gray.
He's gonna go Santa. He's gonna go Santa hard because his father is white as a sheet even now in his 70s, and he still has a full head of hair. There's no receding going on. He's just white.
I'm done here, you know. Like one day,
hey man,
one day she just stopped growing. I got her. And, hey,
honestly, there's no shame in that. One of my best friends, he went full cul-de-sac at 25.
Oof.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, it's who you are as a person. But yeah, no, just so yeah, like we got together, and honestly, he was just supposed to be a bit of camp skin. He stuck around.
Hey,
on my end, he was just supposed to, like, whatever, you know. And he's like, well, you know, me and my wife are separated. I'm like, are you though? What's going on? He put me on the phone with her, and she's like, yeah, no, we're separated. It's cool. And I'm like, is this actually fucking happening right now?
Hey, at least he was willing to put the girl on the phone and show you. He really
did.
He put the effort in. He went overtime on the
Well, because that shitty little guy who like sent him my way, he's like, well, you know, he's married, right? When he got all sooky. And I was like, you married? And he's like, pulled his like wedding ring out of his wallet. He's like, yeah, I'm married, but I'm separated. And that little sookie dude was like kind of trying to whatever. And I was like, well, I saw your wedding ring. I ain't hanging around. So it was like 2 or 3 weeks. I wouldn't talk to him. And then he put me on the phone with his ex-wife.
He was down bad, eh? Like, shit.
That's what it is. But yeah, no, he was just supposed to be a camp skin. Stuck around.
I love that. So, what are your favorite camps or your all-time favorite camp? What are we talking about here?
Good call. Okay, my all-time favorite camps. Okay, good call. Wapasu, I'm not gonna say was one of my favorite camps. I don't like Jack and Jill. I don't like Jack and Jill. None of us like Jack and Jill. We know that.
Illegal now.
So actually. Oh yeah, after COVID, yeah, they shut.
Still have them, but like if your neighbor's gonna be, your neighbor has to be on the opposite shift of you. If you're gonna on nights, that has to be on.
Yeah, actually, I was at. Am I allowed to say camp names right now?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, can I? Okay, yeah. So I was at CNRL Horizon last summer, and it was Jack and Jill, and they were on the same shift as me.
Richardson.
Yeah, but actually,
fucking Badger.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites is actually Sunrise. Like
Husky Sunrise.
Not Husky Sunrise. It's right. Okay, so right when you come up and you turn right to go to Firebag.
Yep.
It's your immediate right. That tiny little fucking camp. You have double beds and it's not Jack and Jill, and that was before COVID.
Okay.
They're excellent. I will always have a soft spot for Beaver River Lodge, only because they hooked me up during the fire. And they hooked me up in a really good suite, which was excellent. If I leave them, what is it? Just outside of Grand Cache. Later Lodge, not bad.
Later Lodge?
Later Lodge is not bad.
Down the Forestry Trunk Road.
Forestry Trunk. Is that where you're at right now? Are you just off Forestry Trunk Road?
No, I'm in Foster Creek. Fuck no.
And you know what? Foster Creek is not bad either. Yeah, no, I've stayed in fucking, oh my god, Wapasu, Denman, Firebag, and that's just Fort Mac. When you go to the other side around GP, you can't even remember half of them. I just shut down.
The Husky Road camp there, the Caco.
I did a Yeah, I did a shutdown last summer. Archie Lodge.
Oh, the Archie Lodge is
not bad.
Great camp.
Archie Lodge is a good camp. Yeah.
The Musro. Yeah. The Musro is over there. Yeah, I think that's the Husky Road one, the Musro.
Oh, totally. Honestly,
nuts and bolts for lunch, fucking top notch.
All of the camps have gotten way better. When I was at Wapasu, I used to bring my own shower head because all the shower heads were crusted or whatever. Yeah. So I would unscrew it and I'd screw a shower head in, take my shower and unscrew it, take it out.
I stayed at Shell Albion for a while, back there with Shell.
I've been there too.
What a fucking maze that place is, man. It's huge. There's that bar. You're allowed like a 2 or 3 drink limit, whatever. They had a Tim Hortons, but that was like one of the first things to go. I remember I was there when the downturn happened. Or starting to close the Tim Hortons.
Yeah, and Beaver River was damp too. Yeah.
Our camp is moist right now, but ish.
Hey man, so is Later Lodge technically right now off Grand Cache, guys.
Yeah. Also, Mount Robson on Fort
Mount
Hills.
Robson. Yeah, Mount Robson off of Fort Hills. No, there was Mount Robson and Mount Robson was the best camp I ever stayed in. They had the best. They had the best fucking food. They had the squash court. They had everything. But then
pizza bar,
why they?
Your shit.
Do you know why Mount Robson isn't there anymore?
Yeah, it was in the blast zone. They built it in the blast zone.
Yes, it was in the blast zone. They had to get rid of it.
Yeah,
because then. Yeah, so then they went to Grey Wolf and
Barge Landing.
The other one.
McClellan
McClellan, yes, McClellan Lodge. We had a lot of ODs in McClellan Lodge.
Oh, I bet.
So much.
Mount Robson had like ball hockey in the gym every Thursday and Saturday.
I know.
On Friday, dodgeball on Sundays. Wasn't it
Loved
fucking
it.
Incredible? They had spin classes. They had yoga. They had fucking 2 movie theaters. They had
golf. And then you'd go upstairs. Yeah, they had the 2 virtual golfs, and then they had like the fucking stick hockey. We went up there to go watch the playoffs at one point. And then they would have theme nights, and like their when you would walk into like the dining hall was like it was like 3 stories high. Like it was
dimly lit. You're sitting in booths. It was fucking, that camp was probably my
Mount Robson was mint, and that's where I was when I guess we can say it now. Fort Hills, when I was scaffolding in Fort Hills before it went live, was when we were at Mount Robson.
Yeah, I was putting in the piles, the screw piles for Fisher, Beeline, Fisher. I don't know what the fuck it was. I was putting in the screw piles for the power lines.
What year were you there?
Oh shit! This was just after the downturn. So
I was there at
2016.
Yeah, I was there in 2016. After June 2016 was where I was there because we had Skyway, PCL, and KPR doing all the scaffolding. Is where I was there.
Yeah, and they kept us at Barge Landing too for a bit. Shout out to Barge. Barge is actually not a bad little camp. Hey, they have
honestly not. I've never actually stayed in Barge.
Barge has room service. Like if you pay $25, they'll deliver to your room. So when you pay out that $25, you order everything, right? Like
oh shit.
Oh yeah, you order it all, and they will fucking deliver for $25. I thought that was a great little camp.
No, I've never had that situation like room service, except like during COVID. Like I went up to Curl Lake the second time, but I went up there as a paramedic this time, and we got like the really bougie rooms instead of the Jack and Jills, and we did get room service. But again, it's COVID, so everybody got room service.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I stayed at Ruth Lake there fucking 2 years ago. I was supposed to go to Fort Mac for 3 days and ended up being there 6 weeks. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, right? No, always fucking pack extra. They're like, hey, you're gonna be like, I'm going on a job tomorrow. I mow about tomorrow, and they're like, hey, you're gonna be just west of Fort Mac in this camp for 5 days. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm packing for a week.
I packed the same amount now. I packed the same amount no matter how long I'm gone for now. That 3-day job, I barely packed anything. And then it got worse, right? So we went to Fort Mac. We were at Ruth Lake. I left 99% of my shit in Fox Creek because it was only 3 days. Went to Fort Mac.
That's what they always say, pack more.
Yeah, and then they sent us to Conklin to the Leesmere project, right? So I went to the Conklin. I went to Leesmere Lodge, I think it was called. And I went to there. No, it was Leesmere. And then I stayed at a little hotel at Conklin Corner there, the little shitty one in the parking lot. Slept on blankets, I stayed on top of that. So on top of not having most of my shit, I left a lot of my shit in Fort Mac at Ruth Lake. So I had like 3 pairs of...
Listen, look at me. I'm your mom right now. You fucked up.
I fucked up. I left my toothbrush in Fort Mac.
Oh!
I was like, we're going back to Fort Mac tonight. We didn't go back. It turns out we didn't go back for like 2 days. And then we were up at Mildred Lake for a bit, right? And fucking, so I'm like sitting there and I'm like, fuck, man, all my shit is spread out across the province right now. Whatever little shit I had with me here is not here. And like, I was so miserable. And then like 3 days later, we go back and I get my shit and then
you gotta be on it, man.
Yeah, it was fucking wild, man. Like what a fucking time, man. The oil patch is a great time, man. Like
it's insane. Actually,
West St. John's, the oilfield rodeo.
No,
I'm an oilfield cowboy. This rodeo is my life.
My
brother and the oilfield is my wife.
No, I do like the whole. What is it? Corb Lund pulling dragons from the ground.
Oh,
that one, he's a roughneck. Yeah, man.
Ben Allen Curry. You ever listen to Ben Allen Curry? He's been on this podcast. Ben Allen Curry's a fucking genius.
Oh, has he really?
Oh my god, yes.
Tight.
Brian Martin. Yeah, Brian Martin, oilfield dad. He says, I'm just an oilfield dad. You know, I miss birthdays, holidays too.
Okay. You gotta send that. You gotta send me links, right?
I don't have him on the podcast. I'm trying. I've talked to his agent. I talked to his agent. It was supposed to happen a few months ago, or like last summer, or whatever the fuck it was, but it never ended up happening. I think he might have switched agents, and now,
you got some agencies going on, but honestly, like you going like right hard is like how I became actually. Now that you see this, I go the other way. That oilfield mom. Actually, a lot of people at my work call me mom because when me and my man were up near Swan Hills, we were working combo unit, and we broke down in House Mountain, and it took us 18 hours for somebody to come and actually tow our combo unit out of House Mountain, which if you've ever been in House Mountain up near Swan Hills, like Judy Creek, it's fucking bullshit.
Good old Judy Creek.
It took us fucking forever to get out of there. And now I pack extra food all the time.
All the time. If I'm going for 4 hours, I'm packing like a for 20.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you best believe I got fucking bananas. I got cheese sticks. I got fucking granola bars. It doesn't matter. So then once I went into rescue, like I remember we would have to do mock rescues and stuff, and like you burn everything you have in 10 minutes. Like it's 35 degrees out. You're lifting fucking 300 pounds. You're getting them up, and then you got to get them down to grade. Like it's insane. And I'd get to the bottom, and I'd be like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'd be like, "Have a banana, have a granola bar, replenish your energy." And they'd be like, "Thanks, Mom." Okay, cool, thanks.
You know, the oil fields push me to my physical limits, right? And like, you know,
it does.
It pushes you to your physical limits. And then there are days where you're sitting on your ass doing nothing. But there are days where you're flat the fuck out. And it's pushed me to my physical limits. And it's taken me like 2 weeks ago. You know, I thought I had been pushed to my physical limits. And then the oil feels like, hold my beer, bro. You know, like,
no, it's hold my fucking beer.
You're not done yet. I've been in the oil patch for 12 years, and I thought I've seen my limits. Like 2 weeks ago, maybe, my limit was met and then exceeded. You know, I found new. Oh, are you there? There we go. I found.
I'm still here.
I found new physical limits, right? And it was mind blowing to me that, you know, I wanted to die, and then I'm like, no, we gotta keep going, bro. And then it was that way for like 6-7 days, and I was just like, fuck, you know, like it's the shit, you know, like I think 99% of it was mental, though, right? Like, you know, I'm like, your body will never push you further than what the body can handle, right? It's your mind.
The thing is,
your mind will give up.
The thing is, yeah, your body is actually surprisingly capable of what it can do. It's totally mental. Totally mental. Like one of the best birthdays. What the actual fuck? Anyway, one of the best birthdays I ever had was my 26th birthday. We were up near Judy Creek, and we were supposed to just clean a tank. Fine.
Yeah,
this fucking space cadet, one of the special guys. Anyway, he goes over to a fucking like 500 tank, opens the door, and you can see the waves of like the fucking in the air, and the fucking everything goes off. So we all have to go. We got to go crosswind, and we sat there. We fucking sat there for, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours for it to clear out. And I was like, tight, today is going to be a really easy day. And it was my birthday. It was June 5th of 2016 or 5th or whatever. Anyway. And I was like, okay, cool. Because me and my man, we were on a fucking combo unit. Tight. We're not going into those tanks, obviously. Anyway, a few hours later, they're like, oh, no, you guys are pulling longer shifts.
Oh.
And we're like, tight. Great. That's wonderful. So we go, and we're not going to clean this huge fucking tank. We're going to go clean the 400. Okay, we're going to go clean 400. Not a big deal. We clean the 400, and then this fucking guy, as we're fucking cluing up getting our fucking hoses on our truck and whatever. We see this guy, and he opens a blind, right? This blind wasn't cutted. So as he opens the blind, all this fucking oil comes spilling out. And he's worried about his coveralls, and we're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Close the fucking blind!" So he closes the blind. But in the meantime, this guy spilled, I don't know, like probably 7,500 liters of oil onto the ground as we just bolted up. Okay, cool. But we also can't go anywhere near it because of what it's off gassing. So now we got to pack up. We got to go under air and we got to clean it up. Tight. So great.
Fucking
Amazing.
horrible.
So we did. So that's what we did.
Gotta
and then, excellent. Always. So anyway, we did that. By the time we got back to our house, it was midnight. And I didn't know that my parents had drove all the way from Ontario to all.
Oh, I think your headphones died or something.
My birthday. So they had been waiting in my driveway this whole time. My parents had been waiting in my driveway this whole time. They drove from Ontario. And so me and Shane, me and my man, we pull up and we're fucking filthy, we're brutal, like whatever. And they're like, "We wanted to spend your birthday with you." I'm like, "Well, it's midnight. It ain't my birthday no mo," kind of thing.
They drove for 3 days to spend your birthday with it. That's incredible.
Yeah. So my man told me, he's like, "You go in, you take a shower, you get clean." And so I did, and then we sat in their camper and we had like a nice steak dinner with, whatever. And my man, like the pictures even now, like my man, he is filthy. Like he is covered, but he's like, "I wanted you to have it on your birthday," and it's like us all having this beautiful dinner. And that is actually one of the most beautiful memories that I have, is just like slopping it through it in the oil field, but then just having a moment,
Hell yeah. So I don't want to keep you too much longer here, and I gotta clean P tanks at 6 a.m. tomorrow, so, and 400s, just like you. So this is gonna be great. Hopefully, it's not that bad. But
no, that's fair. There is one thing I do want to do for you before we peace out.
Oh shit! What are we doing?
Well, because you've obviously seen my Instagram profile.
Hell yeah.
So what does it say?
Fire eater.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh shit! She's gonna eat some fire. Wait,
why not?
Can you do that
in
your house?
Yeah.
With no.
Yeah. I do it all the time.
Let's see this shit. Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, we at least have to end on.
Are you allowed? Are you able to talk after that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got like one more question I always end with.
Yeah, you ask me the question after the fact.
Yeah.
But no, you're set up right good. Okay. Hold on.
She's gonna eat fire.
Yeah.
Like,
of course I am.
Pyromaniac here. She's like does the firefighting thing.
Do you want me to turn the overhead light off while I do it, just so you have the overhead?
So it looks sick. Yeah.
Yeah, you want me to turn the overhead?
Sure,
okay.
Why not?
I'll turn it off. Give me a sec. All right. Yeah, and then we got the ring light. Okay, tight.
Does it hurt?
If I don't do it quick enough, I will crack my teeth.
Oh shit! Have you cracked your teeth before?
No, I haven't, but I didn't pay attention to my breathing when I was learning, and my voice is deep because I burnt my esophagus once upon a time.
Wow, good for you.
So that's fun. I know, right? Tight. Great for me. All right, I'm going to have a quick swig. You're like, what has my podcast become?
I love this. We're doing the circus shit now. I love it.
Oh, actually, my great uncle was a big circus man. Anyway, I digress.
She literally ate the fire.
I did.
You literally ate fire.
It's its own thing.
Badass.
And my husband breathes fire. I don't breathe fire anymore. That's too sketchy for me. But yes,
I want him on now. Let's go.
I know if he was here and not in Kitimat, we would totally hit it up.
Fuck yeah! When does he come home?
3 weeks from now.
Nice.
I just dropped him off at the airport today.
That's badass. And then you go tomorrow then for 3 weeks, and then you're home around the same time.
Yeah, I just tell them that I take the week off.
Yeah, there you go. That's badass. No, good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, we're both fire performers. He does fire staff, and I do like fans and that kind of shit. But so eating is one thing, but we do other stuff.
That sounds so bad. I love it.
Hey man, if you're in Edmonton, come over. We have wicked fire parties.
Oh my god. Okay, we're okay. No, we'll talk about that later. But like,
we won't talk. We won't talk about it online. But yes.
Yeah.
No,
Actually, I remember what he said because I used to say I used to go to Laurier. So
no, that's right. You did tell me. So no, we like to have fire parties, but I do these motherfuckers. I do these guys, but they're on fire, so that's fun. That's great.
Like that's like the whole fan of that shit. You don't put that in your mouth, right? You dance with that.
No, I do dance with these, so it's not like it's a whole thing. Yeah, so those are all fire, which is great, super fun.
That's awesome.
But no, I figured I'm like no, at some point I'm gonna have to eat fire.
Hell yeah!
But
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah. I'm glad that I did that for you.
You just do everything. Can you fly a plane too? Did you get your commercial pilot's license too? Can you fly?
I can't. My brother-in-law can fly a plane though.
I mean, that's you and Jason, right? Like, I mean, like, sort of you. You know, hey, I know someone that can do that. That means like you basically can do that. That's you, right? Like.
And this is like weird, like, cause like honestly, my man was like, "Oh yeah, you just gotta fucking like write a book," or my mom's like, "You gotta write a book." Like,
you should.
I wish that we had more time because honestly, like, I got some shit to tell you.
episode, whatever the fuck. But will there be a part 2? You gotta come back for part 2.
We'll do a part 2, man. Honestly, and it's like you're looking for Mike Rowe, okay? Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs. Mike Rowe. This guy. Oh, this guy. I'm back. I'm backwards.
Yeah, you're Mike Rowe, where you at, big dog? Let's go.
Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs. He's the guy. He's the man. Like, why wouldn't you want to hang out with this guy?
Why wouldn't you? Mike Rowe, why wouldn't you? Mike Rowe, come on, Mike Rowe.
Right?
Mike Rowe.
If we say it enough, will it like hashtag?
It's like Beatles. Right? Like, you say his name 3 times, he's got to appear. Mike Rowe.
Beetlejuice, like Mike Rowe. It's a dirty job. It's showtime, bitches.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh no, he has to at least show up. But no, honestly, like I know that people talk about like vac truck operators and stuff like you're the janitors.
We are.
No, you're not. You're not though. Okay, are you on combo and hydrovac or what's your deal?
I'm mostly combo.
Nothing wrong with combo.
Fuck no.
Nothing wrong with combo. I mean, have you seen those vac trucks collapse like a tin can? Like, you got to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, you're dealing with pressure. You're working on a fucking bomb on wheels. It's gonna go off at some point.
Huge.
That's right. Well, actually, one of our trucks did, poof, at one point, like a couple years ago.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about that.
No. And like we say, like you and I have been doing, we're not talking about
Fuck
company
it.
names.
One of our guys parked right beside the other guy while he was sucking on fucking Condi, and the other guy went to go light.
I was about to say condensate.
And he fucking went to go like ignite his burner and poof, turned his Zach truck into a fucking flamethrower, lit the other one up and stopped. Yeah, no, fuck, we talk about it all the time. Fucking both those guys are now fucking management. So
Condi is insane.
Condi
also Dilbit mixed with Condi is insane.
Ooh, Dilbit is fucking. That's like Dilbit is like your guys.
It's diluted bitumen. Yeah, but the thing is, what is it diluted with? If it's 80% diluted bitumen, the other 20% is usually clean crude. And it's still like we work on live tanks all the time. That is diluted dilbit, bitumen, clean crude. The last tank I worked on, and again, I'm not going to say the situation was, it was 80% dilbit, 20% condi. And it was an open thing, floating roof. And then you have to do the seal on that open roof. So you end up having like 1.5 feet of open space where you can literally see the product. You can see that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Did you know that if Sherwood Park was ever attacked, it would take out the city of Edmonton?
Of course it would.
Oh, fuck me, dude. Like that's
absolutely fucking. See, I wasn't in. Am I allowed to say where I was?
You know what? Like, everybody. What I've learned from creating content and social media, everybody's watching. Everybody. CEOs. I've talked to CEOs.
I just worry about my company because I'm in a position in my company where I'm actually like I'm not just like.
I don't know. Take your chance. Who cares? Say
okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
So the thing is all right. Well, I'm just going to explain it because we do it in many different areas. But when you see these tanks, if they're not domed tanks, like the big holding tanks, they're floating roofs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So when they have to replace the seal on those roofs, there's a primary seal, there's a secondary seal, and then there's a what's the word that I would like to call it because I'm dumb and I can't remember it. Anyway. So basically,
a third.
Well, actually, honestly, like the metal that comes out is literally just for fire suppression. So if that tank catches on fire, it comes down in. But anyway, we work on live tanks. So it's the tank roof floats up and down depending on the concentration of the tank. And sometimes, like my very first tank I ever did was a live tank, and it was a full seal replacement. So we took everything off, and then now all of a sudden you're on pontoons and this tank, and when you walk on it, it feels like a waterbed. But then you have pontoons around it. Yeah, and then when the wind moved all the way over, and then you have 4 feet of space, and all you can see is 4 feet of product. It's insane. Absolutely crazy.
Fuck.
And we've had guys fucking drop, man. Like it happens. It absolutely happens. Like we're there like, "Oh, we don't need you there." No, bitch, it happens.
Yep. Hell yeah. So, I'm going to ask the question now. I'm going to ask the last question here and then we're going to have to have a part 2 because like fuck you're awesome. So, like write that.
I would love to do a part 2 with you.
Hell yeah!
Actually, I literally got together with my neighbor before we did this, and I was like, Steve, I'm nervous, and he's like, dude, just like talk to them the way that you talk to us, and I'm like, I don't know. But yes, we can definitely do a part 2.
In the history of this podcast, this will be like episode 73 or whatever the fuck it is. On the history of this podcast, we've only ever had one reoccurring guest, and that was episode 69. And you know, like
nice.
We managed to have different people on all the time. But there are some people that we are definitely having back. It's been rescheduled. It's been scheduled again to do it again.
Dude, I didn't even get into half of the stories I have. So like a part 2 would be tight.
Hell, let's do it. I'm always down. Maybe when you get back from camp 3 weeks from now, you'll be with your man. So we'll let you have some time with your man. And then
we can even do it in camp. Ain't no thing.
Oh shit! All right.
Oh shit!
Just tell everyone in camp you're doing a podcast with Dick Frost. I guarantee some people listen.
Actually, I even told my sister. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be doing a podcast with Dick Frost," and she's like, "She is an electrician for one of the large people in Fort Mac. One of the two large industries in Fort Mac. She's an electrician." And I told her, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be doing this." And she's like, "I watch his stuff."
Fuck yeah. I love that shit.
She loves that shit.
I don't do it just because I'm doing it for myself and no one's going to watch. I do it because I want people to watch, right?
Of course, man.
I love that shit, I'm not seeking attention. Kind of am, but I'm not. But whatever. It is what it is.
Honestly, dude, you're doing what you do and you do it well. And like, I wouldn't have the time and patience to do what you do. So you should be rewarded for it. It is what it is.
That. It's a lot of fun. It's exhausting. It's a full-time job.
Oh, dude, you literally worked all day and you told me you worked all day and now you're here in camp fucking recording this shit.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I do that. There's sometimes where I'll work all night, come back, and I'll get someone that I can only get during the day. I'll do a whole night shift, come back, and spend 2 hours or whatever recording a podcast for the day. And sometimes buddy's like, "Oh, I'm not available till 9 or 10." So I'm like, "All right, I'll get an hour or so of sleep, then wake up and do it." And hey, you know what? It's gotta risk it for the biscuit, right?
Yeah, honestly, and for you as as you're putting it out for the oil field. You're putting it out for us. We love watching you. The shit you put out is funny. It's great content, but also you're out there for us.
Fuck yeah.
We love that.
That's how I've always sort of looked at it. Kind of at first it was I need something to make me laugh because I was in a dark place, right? I was like, fuck, I need something to make me laugh. And I did that. And I put up with the shit I'd want to see. And then I said talk about this a lot. It wasn't until, I'm 4 years deep into making content now, right? And it wasn't until maybe 2.5-ish, 3 years ago where a derrick hand climbed down off the derrick, came across sight, was like, "Man, I just want to shake your hand." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, man." Before we're talking, he's like, "Thanks for giving us laughs when we want to cry." Fucking.
Oh, totally.
Thanks for being there when we're cold, wet, hungry, missing everything we love, away from everyone, everything. And I hate what's going on today. I hate my fucking life today because it's cold, or it's too hot, or I'm wet. And fucking then I go watch I see Dick Frost video come on and it just makes me laugh, right? And then I'm fuck, man, that's exactly what I wanted out of it, right? Oh my god, dude, and
honestly, the shit that we do, it's hard, honestly, at the end of the day. Regardless of what you do, you're out in the fucking elements. And that's bullshit. It sucks. So your little post where you were like, I'm out here in the sun, but no one's sun's in me. Yeah. I love that. Just that shit, just makes us smile because we can all identify with it. Regardless of where we are. I literally I look like I'm about to make a drop in fucking Call of Duty because I cover my face from the sun and the wind that we have to deal with way up top. But what you do makes people happy. It makes us smile. We can all identify with it. So don't stop doing it.
That's fucking, the last month or so, I wouldn't say I'm feeling down, but I'm not myself, right? I'm tired, right? The oil field this winter was fucking busy, right? We were fucking hammered. The throttle's starting to come off now a little bit, but I'm fucking feeling it. I'm tired, right? And, you know, I haven't really posted. I posted a couple new videos here and there, but for the most part, I'm just reposting old shit right now. And like, it's because I don't have the fucking mental capacity to think of something new right now. And on top of doing the podcast, and you know, like I'm not down, but I'm down, right? I'm not feeling 100% right now, right? And so like that helps. That helps that so much, you know. Like that might, you know, so once in a while, it's happened a couple of times. Like I said, been doing it for 4 years now, right? And before it was like go for like 3.5 of those years, right? And like, how do you come up with new content? I'm telling you right now, it's fucking hard. But like, you know, I see a sound. I gotta watch the FYP. I gotta watch other people's videos to get ideas, right? And for the last little bit, I've been focusing on the podcast. I've been really busy working. I've been on nights for 90% of this year, right? So like, it's.
See, I'm a night bitch. I love nights.
In my mind, you should be asleep at night. My body says, "Hey, it's nighttime."
At my job, we all have nicknames for each other. My nickname is Night Witch.
Night Witch. I love that.
Because it's just, I love nights. But honestly, at the end of the day, like, I know that you just worked a fucking 12-hour day and you're sitting right here in your camp room talking to my dumbass because you're doing something that you love. Like, you genuinely have the energy, the effort in it, and like, honestly, we love what you do. I love your videos. Your videos make me laugh and they make other people laugh. And like I said to my sister, like I said, she's an electrician. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be talking to this guy. And she's like, oh, I watch his shit. And I'm like, there you go.
Fuck, I love
like,
that.
Syncrude and Suncor, they're watching you, man.
Yeah, the shitty part is I can't make fucking content when I'm in Fort Mac. I'm not allowed to bust my phone out on site when I'm up there, right? It fucking sucks.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why, like, I kind of keep my shit together. But yeah, like, my sister works for one of the two, but she's like, me and the guys, we watch his shit. They don't necessarily like. Yeah, they don't necessarily like or comment on your stuff, but also like, the thing is too, like, I've been in the oil field for 11 years and I was in the smoke pit recently, you know, and you get people who come up to you and they're like, do you know me? Because I know you. And I feel like a piece of shit because I'm just like, I'm bad at faces. I'm bad at names. And I'm just like, and they're like, oh, you did this. And I was like, yeah, you're that guy. Like, as a woman in the oil field for 11 years, you do get noticed. You do get recognized if you're out and about, for sure. Especially if you have, you know, that going on. Like, clearly they know where you are. But at the end of the day, man, people are watching your stuff. We're appreciating your stuff. Like, I wouldn't have reached out to you if I didn't appreciate what you do.
Fuck, I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Like, you're working every day, but then you're also putting out content. Good, funny, relevant fucking content, man. Like, it's great.
I appreciate the hell out of that.
Yeah, no, and we appreciate the hell out of you, man, because it's also like you have the other content creators and they're like, you know, they're crane operators or they're doing this or they're doing that. You're the first combo vac truck unit that I've ever seen actually doing it, which is the first thing that I ever commented on you for. Yours was, I thought I was funny in high school and now I do this, and you're cleaning out a mud tank.
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually didn't hate mud tanks. I would rather clean out a fucking mud. Shit. I would rather clean out a mud can than clean a 400 any day.
Fuck yeah, any day. You know, my boss, like, you want to go in the pipeline this winter? And I'm like, nah, I'd rather do the day-to-day shit on the rig. Let me go. Let me be. That's my happy place. You know, like rig outs, and except for when it's minus 40. But like, you know, whatever. Even
it still happens though.
Tank, I feel so bad for the guy on the outside of the tank watching. Minus 40, it's snowing. I'm just in the tank, warm, having a good time, dancing around. I come up with the Taylor Swift theories in my fucking head in the tank. Right? I have so much shit and so much time to think about when I'm down there.
It's true. It's true. I remember I was cleaning a tank out near Swan Hills, and it was a fiberglass coated tank. And fiberglass coated tanks are beautiful because they clean real nice.
Yeah.
Like when you do that shit. And I was inside the tank, and all of a sudden the Shane poked his head in, and he was just like, a helicopter just landed. It's a bunch of people from fucking Calgary. And I was just like, then I'm not getting out of the tank. I'm not getting out of the tank. So I cleaned that bitch so good. Like, she was high in LELs. She was like no H2S, but she was high in LELs. And the thing is, at one point I dropped my squeegee. She hit the floor. Apparently they heard it outside the tank, and he's like, the people that came from Calgary like jumped like fucking 10 feet, like they pieced out. And I was like, I stayed in there until they pulled me out because I didn't want to deal with the people from Calgary. But
do you know what's really funny? That video you were talking about, or I thought I was funny in high school, so now I clean mud tanks for a living, or big tanks. The consultant watched me make that. He didn't give a fuck. He's like, I know you work your ass off.
I love that.
He follows, he watches, they all follow.
See, I wondered that because, like, I see you in the mud tank, and I'm like, who the fuck is filming this, and who the fuck is giving it the thumbs up? Because I've seen your videos, and I'm like, nobody says okay to that shit.
They all don't care. They watch. I work my ass off. They see me work my ass off. I don't do it when I'm not supposed to. And that one time, I was like, I've never done one in the tank. And I look up, and he's sitting there watching, and he watched me pull my phone out. He didn't say shit. And then when I come out, he's like, let's see it. And I'm like, fuck. So I showed him. It's like, that's fucking funny. Post it right now. It was the wrong time for me to post it. That thing has 3 million views or some shit like that.
Wow, like, really? Holy shit.
Because I posted it outside of my normal time. He's like, man, you need to post that right now. He's like, that'll do really good. And I'm like, fuck, all right, cool. That's on TikTok. It has 3 million. And that's like a few 100,000 on Instagram anyway. Fuck
yeah, see, and honestly, at least the fact that you were in a rig tank, it's like you can't tell what company you're working for. Yeah, it's like if you go to other stuff, it's like, oh, well, you're wearing this kind of vest, or you're doing this, or is in that general vicinity. Like, you really, and we all know what kind of vest I'm talking.
Everybody knows what company I'm working when I show the rig in the background. They know what.
Yeah.
They know what company. They don't know what the rig number is, and I've been very, very, very careful about not showing what rig number it is.
So, have you been following the same rig then?
No, we work on like 4 or 5 different rigs, right? So like every time I just snap another picture, and then I use those ones for templates, and then like the templates have been really good. The CapCut templates have been really, really good for when like I can't think of anything to put out, or I can't get out to site that day, and I have a picture of the rig. Fuck it,
yeah.
CapCut template. And then like today I was out on the rig that rig for a while, and I couldn't think of anything to do. There was no real cell service on there. So I snapped a picture, and when I got off site, I'm like, all right, let's go to CapCut, find the templates, and see what's funny out there that I can mix it with, right? And I fucking found it. I'm like, all right, I'm slapping it out there, right? It was I don't know if you see my story, the Wayne's World story I posted earlier, but like I haven't posted it as a reel or anything. It was like Wayne's World losing his mind, and it was like when the green hand finally comes to terms with his situation, and Wayne is like losing his mind, and at the end he's like, and the worst part of everything is I can't read. Right? Yeah.
I used to work up on the Clar, north of Bonnyville.
Yeah.
And I used to deliver pumps, right? So it's like, pumps have their different diameters and whatever, but at the end of the day, they're about like, 300, 350 pounds, whatever, because they're like 20 feet long. So we went and we delivered it. And this was just me coming off of my scaffolding days. And we put them on the side of the catwalk because we're going to need to bring it up to the floor. And all of a sudden they just start screaming. They're like, Jeremy! Where's Jeremy? And they couldn't find Jeremy. So I was like, motherfucker. So I grabbed the pump and I fucking dragged this motherfucker all the way down the catwalk up to the floor. And I was like, here you go. And they're like, you want a job? And I was like, no, I don't want to be a fucking floor hand. I don't want to work in like plus 40, minus 40. Fuck that shit.
Fuck that.
But oh yeah, no, my operator, she used to be like, you're strong like bull, but that's only
smart like chicken, strong like bull.
I digress. But honestly, man, Killing me.
All right, so we're gonna have a part 2, and we're gonna have
a part 2.
We'll have a part 2. So I like to end every episode with a question. You probably listen, but so like Mount Rushmore has 4 of the most influential people on it, right? And so if you could have your own Mount Rushmore with 4 of the most influential people on it that's influenced your life, or you look up to be or strive to be, real, not real, alive, dead, doesn't matter. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore? 4 people.
Tight. That's a good question. Actually, I was not prepared for this. So I would say Norman Borlaug.
Who's that?
Look him up.
Right,
Norman. Do you want me to explain Norman Borlaug, or you want me to just leave it?
Fucking explain it. Who's this dude?
Oh, Norman Borlaug. Okay, so I think Norman Borlaug is one of the greatest people in the world because he did start genetically modifying crops. He's the first person who started GMOs, but he went into South America and Africa, which would help them yield crops 5 or 6 times more than what they would be given. Norman Borlaug is hands down saved probably 2.8 billion, not million, people based on his scientific research. So
fuck yeah.
I know it's a random fucking human being. I'm like, Norman Borlaug.
It's fucking awesome.
So I would say Norman Borlaug, Woody Harrelson, just because I have a hard on for him.
Prove it.
Oh no, he's been my crush since I was 13 years old.
Woody gives you a Woody, good stuff.
Oh yeah, Woody Harrelson. If you're watching, oh my god, I don't even know. So I would say Norman Borlaug, Woody Harrelson, just for vanity's sake.
He's badass, right? The Hunger
he is though.
Been the same though, Woody Harrelson, right?
His father was a fucking hitman for the mafia. Actually.
In real life?
In real life, yeah.
That's badass.
It is, yeah. Actually, yeah. Woody Harrelson's father was a hitman. So I'm gonna say Norman Borlaug, Woody Harrelson, Nikola Tesla, because he had his own shit going on. And then I would probably say, oh shit, you're putting me on the spot here.
That's the point.
I guess so. Okay, so Norman Borlaug, Woody Harrelson, Nikola Tesla, and who do I love in that sense? Norman Borlaug again? Hey. No, not Norman Borlaug. No, for the 4th one, I would probably say, shit. I can't. You put me on the fucking spot on this one. Norman Borlaug, Woody Harrelson, Nikola Tesla, and no. Definitely not fucking won't be Edison. Edison's a piece of shit.
Shout out to Edison Motors, by the way.
Shout out to Edison. Shout out to Edison. You suck, by the way.
Not Edison Motors. We love Chase Farmer and Edison Motors and what he's doing.
No, I just meant Thomas Edison.
No, I know.
Legit. You know what? I'm gonna throw Louis Riel in there. So,
Louis Riel. Shout out to one of the last treasonous people in Canada.
Yeah.
Not actually really treasonous, but our current government should be treated that way.
Well, I'm Métis myself, so that's probably why.
I've been to Louis Riel Square in Regina. Great spot to go catching Pokemon in Pokemon Go.
What's your favorite? Okay, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Oh fuck, Heracross, bro. Like
second gen? You're talking second. Okay, fine. First gen.
Obviously.
No, that's bullshit. That's a gay.
Okay, look. Oh, but Champ is pretty badass.
He was. Yeah, Hitmonchamp, Hitmonlee. They're decent.
Hitmonlee, fucking. God damn, this is. Dude, you know what? Hold on, I'm trying to think. Fucking Ditto, man. You know what?
Well, I mean, Ditto's everybody. Ditto's everyone.
Snorlax. You know, as I get older, fucking Snorlax.
To be fair, right? Ditto is everybody, but Snorlax is no one.
Snorlax is me as I age. I just want to fucking lay down in the middle of a pathway and I want to make it everyone's fucking problem.
Right? Oh, no. You can't take the easy way out. You know that.
Fucking probably. Ditto's probably pretty good. Dragonite's fucking amazing.
Dragonite's good, yeah?
Probably Arcanine. Maybe Arcanine.
Oh,
good call.
Yeah, Ninetales is different. Okay, Arcanine. Fair enough.
And we're going to go all the other ones. Fucking Heracross is the number one Pokemon of all time. We'll just leave it at that because, listen, this guy... Okay,
I'm sorry, who did you say was the number one Pokemon of all time?
Heracross.
I will concede to your situation, but just know that you're wrong.
Who's your favorite Pokemon? Give me one.
Oh, no, it definitely isn't the best Pokemon of all time, but my favorite Pokemon of all time, I love grass types. So, I absolutely love, like, when you would do your thing and you're like, oh, what is it going to be like? Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur? I would always choose Bulbasaur because I'm a dickweed.
Fuck yeah.
But I love Oddish. I love Vileplume. I like grass types. But ultimately, I love Haunter.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I like the dark types. I like Haunter. I like Gengar. Like that's kind of my vibe.
Okay. Another one here. Fuck. I just had it on the tip of my tongue too. Fucking shit, man. Ninetales is beautiful. Something screams.
Which you always thought Ninetales went into Vulpix.
Vulpix turned into Ninetales.
Yes, and the thing is, everyone thought that was like an EV evolution, but it wasn't. I'm literally just outing myself as a total fucking nerd right now.
Onyx has to be one of my favorite Pokemon.
And Onyx is one of those really cool ones that didn't evolve.
Onyx has Steelix, actually, in the newer versions.
So I'm sticking in the original 151. And I actually literally was like hanging out at a kid's birthday party recently, and they're like, well, it evolves into this. I'm like, if it's not in the original 151, I don't acknowledge it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's good shit.
Onyx,
for the most part, had no weaknesses. How do you fuck up a rock?
Unless it's fucking
he was a steel type, I'm pretty sure. Onyx was a steel type, and I guess like Dragonite, a Dragonair, Dratini, like you could fuck him up, but
honestly, unless it's fucking like Goldfish turns into fucking Gyarados, then I don't give a shit. Like he's useless. He doesn't turn into anything, and then he turned into fucking Gyarados. He was.
It's like Aquaman. Completely
Magikarp. We're like Magikarp. Fuck Magikarp, and then he turns into fucking Gyarados, which is like one of the most majestic things ever to exist.
I think that's the whole point of that, right?
It was.
Like, I'm gonna sleep on this fish, and then he turns into Gyarados, and then everyone's just like, holy fuck.
Yeah, right?
You need like 600 Magikarp candies just to get a Gyarados in Pokemon Go.
Well, that's the thing, because it sleeps, right? It's the same thing as like when they use Harden and they're in like a fucking little pod or whatever. Like you have to work for it to be badass.
Yeah.
And that's just
we're gonna do a part 2, right? You're gonna do some homework on some of your like newer.
Oh my god, I feel really bad. Like we're actually still doing a podcast right now. Okay,
yeah.
You better edit this.
Edit what? Edit what? We'll talk about hanging out.
No, man, I got more stories than fucking the Bible. At the end of the day. I just didn't. It's like you just can't push that shit into it. It's like, hey, man, if we talk and hang out, I can tell you horrible and amazing stories all at the same time.
It
just is what it is.
Next time. Don't forget,
all right.
we're leaving off at Pokemon.
Well, the thing is also, I've watched your other podcasts, and most of them end around the 132 mark, and we're pushing the 3 mark.
This is like Right now, I think the second longest podcast I've had. Grayson's first episode was pretty long.
That's absolutely fine.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go now. And you're going to go now.
Well, you have to work. You have to work in the morning, man. I got to mob out. I have to mob out to a camp in the morning, but you are in camp.
I still got to talk to my wife, too, before I go to bed, so.
Yeah, and I still have to talk to my husband, which I have not done yet.
So. Hell yeah. Hey, you know what, Leanna? You stay frosty. And happy Mother's Day.
Stay Dick Frosty.
Ooh, shit. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you, too. Hell and you know what? We'll have a part 2.
I'm not a mom, but I mean, like, I guess if I was a seahorse, I could give birth.
I don't know how to describe it.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. I very much appreciate it. We kind of went unhinged there for a hot minute.
Always.
Thank you very much.